two teams have a history of very close games and a very competitive one last night. We're looking for an all-out fight between Lanier and his Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. As Elmore Smith comes out now, we also want to remind you that today the 76ers of Philadelphia are playing at Denver, and the Los Angeles Lakers are playing the Washington Bullets at Landover, Maryland. You can be getting updates live from those two cities as we switch to them throughout the afternoon. Right now, we're set to go in Detroit, Cobo Arena. The Pistons are in the white uniforms as the Cleveland Cavaliers come out in their maroon and gold. And there's the Cavaliers. You see Jones is at a forward with Elmore Smith at center. That's 14 feet of basketball players between those two. Shoemate Carl Lanier, Money and Ford, and the starting five for Detroit, Walker and Frazier. Puts Walker and Walt Frazier work in the back line with Campy Russell, the high-scoring forward out of Michigan, up front also for Cleveland. Paul Mihalik and John Vanek are the referees, and here is Eric Money, who's been playing superior basketball for Detroit. Particularly in the last 5 games, he's averaging almost 24 points a game. He's averaging 18 for the season. Frazier comes up with a free ball, a long lead to Foots Walker, and nicely done by Walker as Cleveland goes up first.
That's something you won't see very often as Cleveland run the way they did. Frazier with a great lead pass to Foots Walker.
M.L. Carr goes into the corner, too, and here is Frazier again coming up with a free ball, leading the break for Cleveland as Detroit gets 5 men back. Clyde Frazier takes it into the lane, and Jones, a good outside shooter, knocks it down for the Cavaliers.
That's 2 for 2 for Elmore Smith. Both times they tried to go to Lanier inside. Lanier didn't come out and meet the ball. And Elmore Smith just played great defense and batted it away.
Lanier, who really started to come on down the stretch last night with that big sweeping hook of his. He was very tough for the Cavaliers to defend against. Now Shoemate, who has picked up the Detroit offense considerably since the trade with Buffalo that brought him here. Puts up the first points of the game for the home Detroit Pistons. It's 4-2. Down low to Elmore Smith with Walker. They're posting 2 big men low. You see Elmore Smith down low, getting the feed from Jones, who is also down low. And the defensive board comes down to Shoemate. Up court to M.L. Carr. Here comes Chris Ford, the veteran out of Villanova. A very steady, smart basketball player. Solidifies the Detroit Pistons in the backcourt. The guy who's been sensational for them is Eric Money. Very young, only 21 years old. He'll be a senior in college, and he not signed after his sophomore year at Arizona. Frazier with a bounce lead to Walker, challenges the big guys and gets it out to Jones for a free shot. Lanier picks it off, looks for the outlet. The passing lanes are shut down, and Eric Money brings it up on the dribble. We have a foul call here on Foots Walker, Mendy.
That should be an interesting matchup this afternoon. Money and Foots Walker, both very, very quick guards with good hands, good dribbling ability, and they'll lead both offenses.
Ford takes a look inside. Bob Kaufman, the coach of the Pistons, said the big thing that his team has to improve on is to know when to run and to know when to set it up and go with the pattern. A lot of times they've been running when the defense has been back. They've been just running into an overmatch with too many people back to defend against the break. 9:57 to go in the first quarter. Eric Money puts it into the lane and up and through from 12 feet out. Money might be the quickest player in the league. Nobody can stay with him.
I agree, Don. He is awfully quick. We saw him last night play, and he made some moves on Footsy Walker that just left Footsy without any shoes.
And Walker is very quick. They tried to out-quick each other, but last night Eric Money had the advantage. Frazier using his body very nicely to bounce off the defense and then guide it up. And so it is now a 6-4 game. Cleveland has the lead. Shoemate goes right to the hoop, and John Shoemate muscles his way into the lane to get the bucket.
That's what happened when you penetrate. You had the penetration by Money, creating a situation. Shoemate to the hoop. You look for him, the open pass. Give the credit to Money.
Shoemate now has 4 at the 6-6 game here in the first quarter. Frazier goes behind the back, and as Elmore Smith took the pass, he was fouled by Bob Lanier. And so it'll come inbounds with both teams well on the limit here early in the game. Jones takes a look inside, now drops it down to Elmore Smith. Elmore Smith has called for the personal foul.
He wants to replay the foul here is called on Ford. Lanier backs off, but as Ford goes in to help out, he catches Elmore Smith on the way up. That's what they have to do with Elmore. They got to double team him because any of those big guys, whether it's Lanier or whether it's Elmore Smith, it's difficult to go one-on-one against them.
Elmore Smith has started to play basketball. He is one of the highest paid players in the league after that big contract out of Kentucky State. In his last 4 games, he's been working in a pivot with Jones moving to strong forward. Smith has been averaging almost 17 a game over that stretch and 11 rebounds. It's an 8-6 game. Cleveland is in the lead. Eric Money's shot will not go. It's negated by a call prior to it, an offensive foul.
Footsy Walker will step right into the passing lane now. A good defensive play, and it takes a lot of heart to take it. You see it. Ford saw the contact, gave it a little extra push. As long as I'm going to get a foul, you're going to pay for it.
So Chris Ford gets his first personal foul. Campy Russell gun it off the baseline, and nice offensive rebounding by Jones, but he tried to jam it down, didn't have the room to get the big jump off, and it comes back the other way to Chris Ford. Shoemate's sloppy play as Walker gets the ball up court to Frazier. 2-on-2, and Frazier pulls up and drops it from 12.
And Cleveland is running, which is really not their kind of a game. They're a pattern team offense, but when they get the opportunity, they're doing it so far today. We'll have a timeout.
Detroit has had a problem controlling the basketball early as the game is. They have turned the ball over 4 times, and so with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in the first quarter, the Cleveland Cavaliers have taken a 10-6 lead.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller. Yeah. They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it.
They didn't have it?
No. I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up. No. I want light. Tastes great. Right. Has a third less calories than a regular beer. Yeah. And, man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, reclining bucket seats, white-wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, a 1.6-liter engine, 18 new standard features in all, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more car for a lot less money.
Heads are turning to Vitalis. Heads are turning.
Pardon me. Can I give you a lift?
Heads are turning to Vitalis.
Hey.
Heads are turning.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Today's women are turning to men with shorter hair. That's why more men are turning to Vitalis for that clean together, younger look. So use Vitalis and start some heads turning.
Excuse me. Is the seat taken?
Heads are turning.
Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. The Cavaliers of Cleveland lead the Pistons 10-6. This game going throughout the Midwest. All of us at CBS want to extend every best wish to those of you who've been hit so hard by the storm. I guess everybody's starting to come out of it now, but it's been a rough ordeal throughout all these Midwestern states. Shows the resiliency of people, though. They really bounce back here. A lot of great stories here in Detroit where they had serious problems about people getting together and getting it done as best they could. Indiana's hit real hard.
We saw some of those films about Ohio, Akron, and Columbus, and wow.
Cleveland, whoop. They bounce back, though. It's now 10-6 as the Cleveland Cavaliers have the 4-point lead, and Frazier annexes it to 6.
Now, Walt Frazier is going to do it this afternoon.
Good.
Old number 11 knows the tube is on. He's going to put on a little show.
He has 6 in the first quarter, and that is the margin of lead right now as Eric Money comes right back in. He is so very quick. Eric Money out of Kettering High here in Detroit. He is a dancer. He will dance with the ball and then put that real quick first step on and just shoot into the lane and take the little jump shot as he just did. He is just getting better all the time. He's not big. He's only 6 feet tall. Here's Shoemate, and he out-hustles Pete Walker to the game, gets the ball to Eric Money, and Money says, John, you got the ball, you take the shot, and Shoemate knocks it down.
Well, that's good sense. That's good play. Shoemate knew the fast break was cut off, had a little patience, got himself in position for the jump shot, and scored.
So John Shoemate now has 6 points. It is a 12-10 game. Cleveland's lead is cut to 2. Clyde Frazier gets it out to Walker. Cleveland moving the basketball on the perimeter nicely, and Jones, probably the best shooting 6'11" around, and he's knocked down now 2 field goals from the outside. 14-10 Cleveland. Lanier's ready to put it up. cannot get the shot. M.L. Carr can't get it to go. Jones takes down the defensive board up to Walker. Cleveland is hurrying up court, not going so much in the pattern. They're pushing the ball even against the defensive set.
Okay, down the side.
Jones offensive board, and he puts it back up and down, and Jim Jones draws the foul on the play. Mendy?
And Lanier got fooled on that. He didn't really anticipate the rebound well, was completely out of the position. Watch number 16 on the right of your screen. He's away completely from the ball, misjudged the rebound. There's the three-point play.
So Jones has now scored 7 points early as the game is. We have 6:20 to play in the first quarter at 17-10 Cleveland. Eric Money goes baseline. Not quite enough there. Campy Russell looking for the outlet. Cleveland's looking to run. Very interesting combination with Jones and Elmore Smith. And a lot of big people down low, and they're setting picks for each other. Now they're both out. And Detroit a little confused as looking for somebody to break baseline. Frazier gets his 4th field goal. 8 points for Clyde Frazier, and the biggest lead of the game for Cleveland, 19-10. Lanier is being doubled up. Smith is playing him tight. Russell or whoever's out there near him is quick to front him. They're all slapping to the ball when Lanier has it. Big guy from St. Bonaventure gets it back up on his own rebound.
Well, that's undesired. Total desire. Lanier really went to the wrong side. He's a left-hander. Come off the right. Picked up his rebound.
Pete Walker comes back and sneaks one in for Cleveland. And then Detroit subsequently throws the ball away. So Bob Kaufman is up. Saying, what's going on here?
Go ahead.
Bob Kaufman was the general manager. Then when Herb Brown was let go as coach with the team 9-15, he went into the breach. They're a winning club since he's taken over. Here is Pete Walker. A couple of quick field goals for him. Jones has 7. Excuse me, Nettie.
Walker and Frazier are doing it. Frazier got double teamed that time, knew it, instinctively passed off to Walker, and he hit the open man for the field goal.
Jones has 7. Walker has 6. Frazier has 8. Now Shoemate gets an easy one inside. He has 8 points for the Detroit Pistons. 23-14. Cleveland in the lead by 9 again. They catch beats Walker for a charge, and M.L. Carr went down.
M.L. Carr knew it. He just cut off the baseline. Now I took him into your picture. M.L. Carr blocks it off, anticipates Walker hitting the baseline, no place to go, and he took a shot.
Sacrificing his body for love of the game. 23-14. Now Shoemate works, gets the offensive board. He is rejected by the big guy Elmore Smith, but he also got John Shoemate with his body, and Shoemate will shoot 2.
It looked to me like he got all ball. We'll have to watch this now. He'll go up. Now watch Elmore Smith. Number 3 timed this beautifully. Looked like all ball to me, Don. He must have got it with his body.
Bates Walker has a problem right now with fouls. He's got 3 already as Austin Carr comes in the basketball game for Cleveland. It is a 23-15 game. Cleveland is in the lead. Detroit at the free throw line with 4:29 to go in the first quarter. And Shoemate having the big first quarter. He has been a key for the Detroit Pistons as they now have 15 points. Shoemate has 10.
There's a good steal by Ford that just happened to go off his foot, Don, and because of that, it caused a violation. Good anticipation on his part, though.
Walt Frazier guarded by the best defensive guard on the Detroit team, Chris Ford. Overplaying the ball. Down low, Lanier blocking Elmore Smith away nicely with his body. Austin Carr with the offensive rebound. And Austin Carr, the 3-time All-American from Notre Dame and the #1 player selected the NBA draft in '71, goes to the free throw line. He'll shoot 2.
Not fair. There's a lot of action going on inside between Elmore Smith and Bob Lanier, both fighting for position under the board, doing a lot of boxing out and a lot of elbowing.
A lot of body checking. Took a hockey game in there. 25-16. Detroit trying to get back in the game. Lanier can't get it to go, and here comes Cleveland looking to push it up again. Campy Russell picked up by M.L. Carr as they set two men low. Jones looking for the basketball. Whacked away by M.L. Carr. Great defense by M.L. Carr, who had good. But Chris Ford is right behind him.
Good hustle by Chris Ford, fouling the ball down court as the trailer. A lot of ball players will do that instinctively. Chris Ford did it and converted the field goal. Had he not come down, of course, there'd have been no field goal at all.
Steals a game. M.L. Carr with over 2 steals a game. 3:26 to go now in the first quarter. 27-18. Cleveland is in the lead. Lanier takes a look low. Men are picked up. There's nobody open, and Lanier hits to the basket. Basket goes. Foul on the play.
I haven't seen Lanier make that kind of a move in 3 or 4 years. I'll tell you, he left Elmore Smith absolutely flat-footed. Now watch this. He'll pick up the ball, and Elmore Smith is bye-bye, baby. And there goes Robert to the hoop. Beautiful move. He looked like a guard on that play.
Bob Lanier is averaging almost 25 points a game, 24-9. Next Sunday at Atlanta, he'll be in his 6th NBA All-Star game. Last night at Richfield, Ohio, was Detroit 115. And Cleveland 105. M.L. Carr takes a look inside. He is shut off by Campy Russell. Kicks the ball out to Ford. Cleveland playing a tight switching defense. Shoemate down low. Working harder. If at first you don't succeed, and John Shoemate on a second try gets his 6th field goal. He has 12.
How important is offensive rebounding? It shows you got to go for that second effort, because every ball will not go in, and John Shoemate is exactly that. Now he will go up for the shot. He will anticipate his rebound. He will feel where the other player is. It's missed. He'll get the inside position. Nobody boxes him out, and he goes up for the hoop. Beautiful play by the guy from Shoemate.
And so, down by 11, now Detroit is back to within 4.
Each year, thousands of homes are lost to fire. That's why you need Allstate's homeowners insurance. But did you know many other homes are lost to another major disaster? The owner dies before the mortgage is paid. For that, you need mortgage protection insurance from Allstate Life. Your family needs both kinds of protection, and your Allstate agent can put the two together. See him soon.
Like your GM car?
Yeah.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
We sure do.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodrich. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right, on time. That's what I want, too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. Come on and taste the fancy way. Come on and have a fancy day. You're on the trail of something great. Today was made to celebrate. Come on and have a fancy day. Fancy generation. Have a fancy day.
Bill Fitch and Jimmy Rogers on the Cleveland bench as their club had an 11-point lead. It has now been cut to 4. The Cavaliers, as we mentioned, are a playoff team right now, but they've not been playing well as of late, have had some trouble. And they have actually, Cleveland has lost 10 of the last 14 games they've played. So they want to get it back on track. They're looking a lot sharper this afternoon. Both teams shooting very well, Mendy. So far in the game, Cleveland shooting 61%. Detroit is shooting 53%. M.L. Carr just got his first personal foul, but it is the 15th foul of the first quarter. And so Campy Russell goes to the free throw line.
There again, Don, is a lot of body contact, especially with Cleveland on offense down on the other end of the basket as we see right now. This is what happens a lot of times when you have two teams playing back-to-back games. Things that are picked up from the night before are carried over to the next day or to the next night. And little things that occurred, a knee, a shoulder, an elbow, will come out in the next game. The battle right now is between Elmore Smith and Bob Lanier.
Yeah, they're really mixing it up down there. Cleveland annexing its lead to 5 points. They've led by 11 in the first quarter. We have 2:24 to play in it. Eric Money now picked up by Austin Carr, and they're letting Austin Carr have the base, giving him the baseline of Money because there's a big guy waiting there to shut him off. A little bit of a zone almost as Elmore Smith is just positioned down low and picking up whoever comes in there.
Well, they are collapsing, no question, on defense to cut off that fast break of Detroit penetrating.
A travel violation gives the ball back over to the Cavaliers. Campy Russell has to fight ML Carr for the basketball, and Russell has it partially rejected, and Carr is called for a foul on the shot.
Cleveland's looking for a lot of shots down low today. From what we've seen Cleveland play in the past, they're a big perimeter shooting ball club. Most of their shots this afternoon so far have come with inside that 15-foot mark.
Gus Gerard now comes into the ball game for Detroit, replacing ML Carr. ML Carr has 2 personal fouls. Nobody else with a problem. Ford has 2 for Detroit. Chris Ford takes a look inside to Lanier. They want to get the big guy shooting more. Not quite enough on it, but Ford follows it up, and then the rebound rolling up to Elmore Smith, and here comes Walt Frazier. As see his hand check coming over the timeline by Ford. Austin Carr knocks one in.
The defensive lapse. Frazier again, double team, looking for the open man and hitting him.
And quickly, Cleveland moves out to a 9-point lead again after it was cut to Ford. Carr takes a look. A good lead pass down court. Campy Russell with good hands controls the ball, then loses it. It'll come back to the Detroit Pistons. I think Cleveland is feeling they have not been winning with the slowdown game, is looking to put a little bit more run in their offense. They're doing that today, and they're getting free basketballs. Here is Clyde Frazier with a good hand. Needs some help, and guns it up court to Campy Russell.
And the bomb. Any place out of the area code.
And he has 7. So it is now a 34-23 game. An 11-point lead. Loose ball foul on the rebound. Ford gets his 3rd personal foul.
What Detroit is not doing right now, and Cleveland is doing it for them, is denying that second shot. They're getting 1 shot at the basket. They're not picking up any offensive rebounds. Cleveland doing a good job of boxing out. Therefore, the 34-23 lead at this point.
Walt Clyde Frazier, a legend in New York, played on 2 NBA championship teams with the New York Knicks, and then in a most surprising deal, left New York. During his career, he has played in more games, more minutes in more games, and scored more points than any player in the New York Knicks history. He was their top draft choice in 1967 out of Southern Illinois after leading that team to the NIT championship. Frazier's been playing a good, sound team game in Cleveland. He likes it in Cleveland, likes the area, and likes the type of game they play. Knicks wanted to go to speed and quickness, drafted for speed. Clyde likes to set it up. Gus Gerard can't get it down. Jones takes it off. Frazier checks the clock. It's down to 32 in the first quarter and running. Now Skinner is in the game, beating off the Carr, trying to bounce it back out to Frazier, and the ball be inbounds to the Cavaliers. 36-23. Cleveland moving out fast in the first quarter to the big lead. Their biggest of the game right now, 13.
That's usually contrary to their style of play, Don, because they're the lowest scoring team in the NBA, and a 36 for a quarter is extremely high for this type of ball.
It really is. Now, Skinner brings the ball up court. He hit for 20, his career high as a Piston last night. They'll play it down. Game clock is down to 8. Gus Gerard looks outside, down to Lanier. He was body checked by Jones. No question about it.
Not only body checked, but held by Jones.
So Bob Lanier will go to the free throw line now for the Detroit Pistons. The big guy from Buffalo and St. Bonaventure. Came out of St. Bonaventure in 1970. Many speculate that school, St. Bonaventure, would have won the NCAA championship had Lanier not gone down with the knee injury in the playoffs. And ironically, it was in a game against Villanova, and the man he tripped down and injured his knee was his present teammate, Chris Ford. Lanier is said to be earning now $600,000 a year in the NBA. He is a franchise here in Detroit.
That is a big number.
There's a few of those numbers around. Maravich, Kareem even more than that.
Easy in here.
Austin Carr just before the horn sounds and the first quarter comes to an end. And so the Cleveland Cavaliers move out fast. They get 10 points from Frazier, 7 from Russell, 7 from Jones, and they lead the game by 11.
The important thing is Sylvania beats Zenith. Sylvania beats RCA.
Now here's the way it will.
Sylvania beats Magnavox and Quasar and Sears. That's right. Recently, over 1,000 people saw 6 unidentified 25-inch color pictures side by side. Then they picked the best overall picture, and the clear winner was the Sylvania Super Set. So get the picture that beat them all. The Sylvania Super Set. Side by side, we beat them all.
We're saving $600.
We're saving.
This family has rented a Ryder truck
We're saving.
and moved 500 miles.
We're saving 600.
By packing and moving themselves, they saved a lot of money over what professional movers wanted. True, when you rent a Ryder truck, you have to do the work yourself. But if you just keep repeating how much money you're saving, you'll be amazed how much lighter those cartons will seem.
We're saving $600.
Control is very important in the game of basketball. And control is vital in the game of life, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure. Right now, I'm having my blood pressure checked. That's the only way to tell if it's high. If it is high, I'll follow my doctor's advice to control it.
It's normal, Tom.
Good. For more information, ask your American Heart Association. I'm Tom Borwin. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
An announcement from the American Heart Association in cooperation with the NBA.
This is Don Crickey with Mendy Rudolph back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. We're ready now for the start of the second quarter. The Cleveland Cavaliers coming out quickly with a pushing running game. Have gone out in front 36-25. As Bob Lanier is going to get a break now for Detroit. In the game for the Pistons is Leon Douglas, the great second-year player out of Alabama, regarded by many as the best college player in the country a couple of years ago. A very dedicated player and starting to get more playing time. He can probably run as well as any 6'10" that's ever been in the game. Frazier doubled up by Skinner. Skinner got him from behind, and Clyde will shoot 2. Frazier had the big first quarter.
And nobody does it better. The second pump, Frazier, second mark. There he goes. You watch this. Pump once, pump twice, and there's the foul. I don't know why people just don't recognize that. He's been doing it for years and getting it away with years. They should really never go for that first pump. It's very seldom released. When we go.
Shoemate of the Pistons has almost half their points. He has 12 of their 25. Inbounds the ball comes, and here is Skinner bringing the ball up court now for Detroit. Al Skinner is out of the University of Massachusetts, a 6'4", 190-pound guard, now in his 4th year. Leon Douglas takes a look inside. A mismatch as Frazier is switched off on him. Gus Gerard, he's an outside shooter. He was tough down the stretch last night at Richfield, Ohio, hitting the open jumper to let Detroit pull away.
And Campy, you're also better get up tight on him because he'll take that baseline shot and hit it all day.
The Cavs again go to an 11-point lead. Jones takes a look inside. Carr cutting down the baseline. He's shut off. Lambert in the game now for the Cavaliers also. Jones throws up a very off-balance, very fortunate shot in that it went down, and he has 9 points for the Cavaliers.
Leon Douglas did everything right, and it turned out wrong.
And again, a 13-point lead for Cleveland. Shoemate. A lot of muscle, gets the shot away, can't get it in, but he will shoot 2.
Again, that's the penetration we often talk about. Eric Money now will penetrate into the baseline. He'll create a situation. He's almost triple teamed, knows the open man's got to be someplace, looks behind. Beautiful pass to shoot and make possible three-point play. That's what Detroit has to do to get back into this game. They got to hit the passing lanes, start coming down the middle, creating situations, 2-on-1, 3-on-1.
Shoemate is out there getting it done today, Mendy. He has 13 points here early in the second quarter. He's keeping Detroit in it as much as they are in it. They are down by 11, 40-29. Skinner playing Frazier very tight with the ball, but Frazier, who seems lethargic, has that great burst of speed when he has to put it on. He'll fool you with a slow dribble and a slow gait, and rip it open. Here's Russell firing. Al Skinner takes it down and brings it up on the dead run. Right down the lane, and Skinner takes it the distance and lays it in for Detroit.
He's doing what he did so well last night, leading the fast break, brought the ball all the way down. Nobody picked him up, getting Detroit back into the ball game.
And now the Cavs with a couple of substitutes getting set to come in. Elmore Smith and Bingo Smith getting set to come in for the first time as Bingo Smith, the good outside shooter. Detroit starting to play much more aggressively right now. Another big game going on today is Los Angeles at Washington. We'll be updating that game with live reports. We'll also be going to Denver for reports on Philadelphia and the Nuggets game. Skinner takes a look inside now. Gets the ball over to Gus Gerard as Bingo Smith picks him up. Leon Douglas is coming out high and then guns it down as Al Skinner snuck in. And here comes Austin Carr in a foot race with Leon Douglas. Carr lost the handle and then gets it up over Douglas. Now for a report on the Los Angeles at Washington game, let's go to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson at Landover, Maryland.
Welcome, those of you who have been watching Cleveland-Detroit. I'm Brent Musburger with Keith Erickson. The Los Angeles Lakers, with the ball, lead the Washington Bullets by 4. It is 40-36. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is back on the floor right now. Foul called underneath. And, Keith, for those newcomers, you might explain what has gone on here in Landover.
Well, we've had quite a physical game so far. Kareem picked up two fouls right off the bat, and now we've got Elvin Hayes guarding Kareem. They've got an old rivalry going. It's going to be very physical inside, the way it's been so far. The referees are going to have to watch this down here. It's getting pretty rough.
I was going to say a lot of impressive newcomers, and with that, the veteran Abdul-Jabbar went up on Elvin Hayes. Isn't it interesting? Elvin Hayes and Abdul-Jabbar have gone at one another all of these years, and here they are one more time.
That's right. It goes all the way back to the Houston Astrodome when they were still in college.
Lou Hudson goes to Kareem with 8:56 to go. 40-36. Los Angeles makes it 42-36.
And we welcome you back to Detroit. This is Don Quickie with Mendy Rudolph. Our score is Cleveland 42, Detroit 31 with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Dick Snyder in the game for the Cavaliers. Fires it over to Austin Carr, picked up by Money, and Carr with a good first step takes it by him into the lane.
Austin Carr made a move. He was picked up by Leon Douglas, made a move on him, made two moves. Beautiful individual effort.
Didn't he? He has 6 points. Skinner, high bounce and a high arcing shot gets it over the big man, and Detroit gets the 2 points back and again trails by 11. Top point producer in the game is Shoemate. He has 14 for Detroit. Frazier has 12 for Cleveland. Bingo Smith coming around as Cleveland works the perimeter weave, and Snyder tries to open up down the middle, and Skinner, playing a good defensive game, knocks the ball out of bounds.
Cleveland right now moving the ball better than I've seen them move in the last 2 or 3 games, Don. They're moving the ball back and forth inside, penetrating, looking for the open man. The reason they're ahead by 11 at this point is because of that ball movement.
Chevy's all-new Malibu has all kinds of good news for here and now. Good news about fuel economy. 29 miles per gallon here on the highway. 21 here in the city. It's here and now. There's also good news about room here on the inside. Here in the trunk. It's here and now. The all-new Malibu. It's here at your Chevy dealers now.
The Bell system is coming up with communication systems to solve problems in your industry, whether you're in trucking, retailing, utilities, or any of these others. If you haven't talked systems with your problem-solving Bell account rep, your company's missing something.
One of these batteries started a whole revolution in automobile batteries. The J.C. Penney battery. There are no filler caps. You never add water, ever.
It's the most powerful battery ever built for a passenger car. That's why it's fully warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails to hold a charge, return it. We'll replace it, free. Only at J.C. Penney Auto Centers or catalog desks. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
We are back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. We have a 44-33 score on the board. The visiting Cleveland Cavaliers are in the lead after they were beaten by 10 points at home last night by these Detroit Pistons. There are the Cavaliers in the game for them. We have Elmore Smith, Austin Carr, Jim Brewer, Bingo Smith, and Dick Snyder. Gus Gerard, Al Skinner, Bob Lanier, Eric Money.
Take a look at Lanier and Smith in there looking for position. I'll tell you, you've got two 7-footers in there banging away at each other.
Austin Carr fires it off the glass. Leon Douglas sweeps it down. Passing lane shut off by Austin Carr. And here comes Eric Money. Watch him. Bingo Smith bushwhacked him. Got him from behind.
And knocked the ball out of bounds. Good call by John Vanek. You can hear Bobby Kaufman. He's not too happy with the call at that point.
Both teams shooting well over 50% in the game. Early in the game, Detroit opened up. Cleveland shooting over 60% at the outset. Leon Douglas working very hard, and the big guy from Alabama Crimson Tide takes it through.
That's what Detroit does now. They take that second shot. He anticipates the block. Elmore Smith will come in and block the shot. Leon Douglas will come into your picture. He'll pick up the ball. There he goes, into the hoop. Good effort by Leon Douglas, converting possibly a three-point play.
Leon Douglas was the number one player selected by Detroit in the 1976 draft, the fourth player picked overall. Very, very fast for 6'10", 230. He can run with anybody out there. A lot of motion from the Cleveland offense. The big men switching sides of the lane as they keep the ball moving. Everybody's in the basketball game for the Cavaliers getting a crack at it. Here comes Carr, but there's a travel fire. Do it on Smith. Bingo Smith is called for travel. The ball is back over to Detroit.
Notice Gus Gerard, when he gets Bingo Smith on defense, he will play him uptight, knowing full well how well Bingo can hit from the outside, hit it from the perimeter. He will play him right on top of his chest.
Lanier with that sweeping hook. Again, too much on it. It's awful tough to get it over Elmore Smith. Big as 6'11" Bob Lanier is. Elmore Smith is 7 feet with the longest arms in the league. Snyder, sharpshooter from Davidson. Puts it down for Cleveland, and again the Cavaliers open it up. They have a 10-point advantage. As Money tries to sneak it back. What a basketball.
Woo! What a move he made. He went by 3 Cavaliers, jumped as high as the ring, made a beautiful individual play.
Eric Money, now in his 3rd year as a Detroit Piston. Here's a steal by Money. Bingo Smith is back. Behind the back he goes to Al Skinner.
All right, Eric Money has turned the crowd on as well as the ball club. He made a beautiful behind-the-back pass with Al Skinner coming down on the wing. Great play, great fast break. You don't want to see anything better.
46-40 is the score as Bingo Smith comes back to a soft jumper that doesn't go, and Skinner gets another defensive rebound. Here comes Money. Lost the handle. Snyder up court. Austin Carr takes it in on Skinner, and Skinner gives a good foul because Carr had a sure to. Let's watch Eric Money on the play before.
We'll watch that fast break that we talked about before. There's Money with the steal. Now he'll head down court. Knows exactly where his players are. He knows he's being covered up. He sees Skinner on the wing. Watch that beautiful pass. Great timing. Up with the left-handed layup off the boards. That is absolutely beautiful.
Sir, what's the hurry? Going to rent a car. Oh, well, you don't have to run. Gotta run. Oh, no, if you had an Avis Wizard number, you could walk. Walk? Call toll-free and let our Wizard system do the running. Just show a major credit card, license, sign, and get the car. I don't have to run through airport? Not with Avis. I can walk through airport. I'm walking through airport.
We're the Van Arsdales, Tom and Dick. We're identical twins, and we drink identical beers. Light beer from Miller. We love it. The best thing about light beer is it's less filling. Great taste. Less filling. It's got a third less calories than the regular beer. Great taste, Tom. Less filling. And I'm not Tom. You are. I'm Dick. You think you are, but you never were.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Foreign cars are fun, but
Hi, I need a new muffler.
Where does it go? The glove compartment?
Muffler.
Pour 'em up. But you gotta leave it a car.
Foreign car mufflers aren't foreign to Midas. We now stock and install mufflers on most foreign cars the way we've been installing them on American cars for the past 20 years.
I think I'll try Midas.
The 32 days of fabulous February. Tonight, it's Carol Burnett with an hour of great madness. Tonight at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
We're set to go back in Detroit. Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph. We have 6:21 to go in the first half. At halftime, you'll be seeing the horse competition with sharpshooter Bingo Smith of Cleveland going against All-Pro Doug Collins of the 76ers. We'll also be going to San Diego for a report on the San Diego Open Golf Tournament, which you'll be seeing following this NBA game. A big announcement also today in Boston. The great John Havlicek, the longtime captain of the Celtics, will be retiring after this season. All that coming up at halftime here on CBS. And we'll also hear from our friend Jimmy the Greek, the man who said Chuck Knox is out of Detroit long before anybody else did. The man who said George Allen is going to Los Angeles. It's not yet been made official, but there's some heavy speculation. 7 NFL coaches from last season are adios already. Hank Strand, the latest yesterday.
It's a tough profession, whether it be football or basketball. And Eric Money right now with Al Skinner are putting Detroit within reach. They're only 6 behind right now, basically on these two players.
Eric Money has thrown in 8 points for Detroit. The Pistons have rallied back to within 6 points. Cleveland is led by as many as 13 in this game. Elmore Smith with a very nice shot. Lanier taking a look over him after he got out today. I didn't know you could go up that high. 4 for Elmore Smith, but he's been tough on Bob Lanier. Lanier with 7 points. Lanier loses the ball to Bingo Smith. Snyder on the left flank, moving in on Eric Money. Tries to go back to Bingo Smith. It's taken by Money to Gus Gerard. Last touch by Elmore Smith. Smith won. Go ahead, take your best shot. I'll flat it back at you.
I'd like to see the finish of that play. I wanted to see what Elmore Smith was going to do with that attempt. He was ready, wasn't he? You can see him getting all wound up, ready to block that shot. It just never happened.
He's not a finesse blocker like Bill Russell used to tap it out and start a fast break. Elmore Smith will whack it up into row L. Lanier, not too good a touch. Bingo Smith. Baseball pass to Austin Carr. And Lanier takes down the rebound, looks for a man, and here comes Gus Gerard. 3 men are back for the Cavaliers to shut off the break. Cleveland hustling nicely on both ends of the floor. But Eric Money saw that lane open, and he shoots into it for his 10th point.
They're trading baskets right now. What they got to do now is cut Cleveland off.
Now Cleveland goes into a pattern offense as Frazier raises his index finger calling the play. I'm sure that wasn't it. Brewer taking a 25-foot shot.
But one thing they can't do is give Brewer that shot outside because he's really not that good a shooter. Look at Al Skinner make this move.
Yeah, Al Skinner's been playing basketball. Back to it in 4 have come the Pistons after trailing by 13. Skinner coming off the bench to hit 8. And he's played a superior floor game. Defending well, rebounding well, moving the ball up court quickly. And now Elmore Smith, so easily, puts it up over Lanier for a second time on the jump shot in the same spot. He has 6 points. Eric Money throws up a bad shot. And down comes the ball to Walt Frazier. Wide, sharp. And Al Skinner drew it.
I think what you're going to see on this play is someone from his own club bump into Frazier and cause the offensive foul. Let's see if we can pick it up. There's Frazier with the ball. Let's watch. Somebody hits him from behind. It's one of his own players that just brushed by him and caused the offensive foul. Unfortunate, but it occurs.
Al Skinner, a left-handed basketball player, goes down low to Douglas. Cleveland does a nice job double-teaming up the big man underneath. You don't get a one-man operation. You get 2 men doubling up on the ball down low, particularly when the big man for Detroit, Lanier, has it. The Very difficult to get that percentage shot inside. Body check in front. Down low they go to Bingo Smith. Cleveland by 6. 52-46, 3:40 to play in the first half. Frazier hitting very nicely. Clyde Frazier has hit 14 points. Shoemate has 14 for the Pistons. And Cleveland has an 8-point advantage. Lanier doesn't want to challenge Elmore Smith right now. Now he beats him with a fake.
Elmore Smith tried to box him out with his body. Lanier just bypassed him, put the ball up on the board. Elmore couldn't get his hands up quick enough to block it. Right now, Eric Money is very tired. I would suspect the body cough now to get him out of there.
Leon Douglas, overhead outlet pass, 2-on-2 break. Gerard pulls up. Gus Gerard pops it down for Detroit. The Pistons are back again to it in 4. Gus Gerard played his college basketball at the University of Virginia. Now right back the other way. Bingo Smith gets his first points of the game. The 6-point advantage for Cleveland. Lanier offensive board. Lanier back up. And now Lanier starts to come on. He has 11 points. And again, it's a 4-point game. Cleveland. Elmore Smith, about 250 pounds, and thundering in the middle. Skinner was there and took the charge. We have a timeout on the floor. We'll be back with 2:28 to go in the first half.
Last spring, 227 specially equipped Chevy Nova police cars were delivered to the Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Department.
That's a tall order, but no surprise, because law enforcement agencies in 47 states have made Chevy Nova America's best-selling police compact. Now, a lot of the things the police look for in a new car are the same things you'd look for in a new car. Reliability, performance, and value. Chevy Nova, a wanted car, now more than ever.
You know why Zenith developed Color Sentry? Well, did you ever see my face and it looked too red and other times it's all washed out? That's why.
Zenith Color Sentry. Think of it as a TV control room in your set. It controls the color picture, corrects the color picture, automatically, 30 times a second.
And that makes a difference. After all, I don't play for the Cincinnati Pinks.
See the difference Color Sentry makes. Only from Zenith.
8 hours and 4 minutes. Amazing. 9 hours and 6 minutes. Fantastic.
Vicks Sinex long-acting nasal spray is amazing. It can quickly have you breathing as easily as someone with no congestion problem. And then it decongests up to 10 hours.
10 hours. Incredible.
The game?
No, my nasal spray.
Vicks Sinex long-acting. Incredible.
Well, we've got a new show premiering on CBS on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. It'll be hosted by Tom Brookshire, McLean Stevenson, and Barbara Rhodes. You'll see the celebrities this week matched up like Gavin McLeod versus Mackenzie Phillips in the Mini Grand Prix. Billy Crystal versus Aaron Moran on the obstacle course. That's all coming up on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes here on CBS with Tom Brookshire, McLean Stevenson, and Barbara Rhodes, your host. 2 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the first half here at Cobo Arena. Bob Lanier of the Detroit Pistons has come on now. He has scored 14 points, or 11 points so far in the game. Shoemate has 14, got 12 in the first quarter. Eric Money has hit 10 for the Pistons, and Skinner has 8 coming off the bench. For Cleveland, the leader in the game, Frazier now has 14 points. Carr has hit 10. Jones has 9, and Elmore Smith has 6. Skinner. The big move to go around the big man and then over the big man, and Skinner has hit 10 points, and he has been the difference as Detroit has come back to within 2. Skinner coming off his best game with the Pistons, 20 points last night. Jim Jones throws it down. Bob Lanier rips the defensive board down and goes to Skinner, quickly searching down for the free man. Here comes Eric Money, skittering his way through. Detroit down by 13, has tied the game.
These are the same two players that beat Cleveland last night in the fourth quarter. Al Skinner and Eric Money, and they're doing it right now in the second quarter.
Frazier gets a free shot. He missed it all. Loose ball swept down by Leon Douglas, and here comes Money. Right into the hands of Walt Frazier. Jones fades away and gets it over Douglas. Jim Jones at 6'11" with a guard-type shot. 11 points for Jones, and a 2-point advantage for the Cavaliers.
Elmore Smith is on the bench right now with 3 fouls. Let's see if they take advantage of that by going into Lanier.
M.L. Carr had the ball tipped, and here comes Frazier back the other way for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Frazier very wisely puts the ball in the air as he is fouled. We'll see if it's a 2-shot call. Mendy.
Again, that's that Frazier patented move. He'll pump once, will not take the shot. He'll go up the second time, and invariably the defensive players will fall for it, go into the foul situation. I don't know why they don't stay on their feet on that first pump.
So Clyde Frazier goes to the free throw line. Right now, we have substitutes coming into the game. Bob Lanier is coming back in for the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are currently a 21-25 team. They're running 9 games behind Denver, the leader in the Midwest Division. But most importantly, they are running 9th in the Western Conference. And, of course, the top 6 teams will be in the playoffs. Cleveland, with a 22-22 record, is 5 games behind the Central Division leader San Antonio and 2.5 games behind the second-place Washington Bullets. Cavaliers running 5th in the Eastern Conference. The hot clubs in the league out of Denver, they're 30-16. Phoenix with a remarkable turnaround this year after missing the playoffs a season ago. Fights the rebound underneath. Eric Money at 6 feet keeps on trucking.
You got to talk to Eric Money. I'll tell you, he was fighting guys at least 8 to 10 inches above his height, picked up the rebound, unfortunately stepped out of bounds for Detroit.
That is the amount of time remaining in the first half. 30 seconds to go. 60-56. Cleveland with the ball in the 4-point lead as Bingo Smith takes a look up. Shot clock down to 10. Frazier gets a free shot. Skinner went down. Lambert tips it up. Whacked around. Douglas has the ball out to Skinner. Lots of time. Money takes it. Feeds back to M.L. Carr. Boy, that's good basketball.
Beautiful play by Eric Money. Caught the ball in the air. Knew M.L. Carr was coming down the lane. Great pass up. Eric Money played a great half. He did.
Whoop. Put away. So we had a lot of basketball in the first half. The Cleveland Cavaliers jumping out to a 13-point advantage. In fact, they had that mark twice. And then Detroit, the home team, rallies back to trail by 2 at the half. And here is that big play as Eric Money feeds off to M.L. Carr, who doesn't try to go grandstand, but does put it in the hole and brings Detroit back to within 2 at halftime.
Hey, somebody's buying this car. I want them to buy a good car just like I want a good car.
Frank Sennenbeck, Lordstown Assembly Line. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
This is my engine. I feel like I almost have to put my name on top of that motor. I'm checking to make sure that this motor goes out as a good job. We'll even kid over it a lot of times. Hey, dummy, come down here, look, you missed this. Now, I got a card for you, and I want a good motor going, leaving the line. Because it's a reflection on all of us. People have matured. They really understand the word pride, what it really means, because they've seen it. You know, what it does. I work my 40 hours on the line at Lordstown. I come home, I'm not tired. I don't have to worry about the next day or the payment I have to make. I'm glad I'm here.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
You're a good friend. Tonight is kind of special.
Where you been? It wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrow. Steak and Lowenbrow. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
Fred sent in his tax return yesterday.
Now he has to wait for his refund check. And wait, and wait. Harry had plans for his refund money. He went to Beneficial, because Beneficial wants to lend you the full amount of the refund you expect, and more, so you can get going now. If you have plans for your refund money, would you rather wait, like Fred, or go, like Harry?
At Beneficial, you're good for more.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Crickey, and this year at halftime on CBS coverage of NBA basketball, we have some of the top players in the league matched up in the old schoolyard game of horse, where a player must duplicate his opponent's shots or be assessed a penalty letter. 5 misses means 5 letters. That spells horse, and he's out. Today, Bingo Smith versus Doug Collins. With the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Good luck, Bingo.
Thanks, bro. Doug Collins won the toss, and will call the first shot.
Bingo Smith has to match that, and the first letter goes up.
We have an H.
Straight through.
Call your shot, Bingo.
1 dribble straight in.
And Bingo makes it work now, as he has the advantage.
An H for Doug Collins.
We're even up at a letter apiece.
Call the shot, Bingo.
Straight in, jump shot.
That's Bingo's big shot. They say in Cleveland he can hit it outside the local area code. 2 letters up on Collins, and Bingo Smith still with the advantage, ready to call his shot.
Shot across the middle off the wrong leg.
How about all that?
Misses.
Collins gets the advantage. The all-pro guard.
Make a drive. Take it under with my right hand, swing to my left, and shoot a bank shot on this side. Okay?
You got that, Bingo?
I'll watch it.
Let's watch it.
All you can do is watch it, and Doug Collins makes it go. A tough shot to match.
That's a miss anyhow. Just switch hands. Bingo.
So we are now even up at 2 letters on each player.
Doug Collins in the lead will call the shot.
Drive baseline. Shoot a 360 and bank on this side. All right? What's going to do? I'm going to drive to the baseline. Shoot like a 360 and bank on this side.
Doug Collins was the number 1 player drafted in the NBA back in 1973 out of Illinois State.
Miss. Bingo takes over.
Straight jump shot out the corner.
Bingo can fill it up from the outside. He's an original Cleveland Cavalier. Dates back to the first season of that team. And now he puts up a 3rd letter on Doug Collins.
Call your shot, Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
Now Doug Collins is a letter away from elimination.
Hook shot.
Collins will call.
Wait.
We're coming to you from the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
A letter for Smith.
4 letters to 3. Doug Collins still with the advantage, and he needs to hit this.
Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
Bingo can close out Doug Collins now with a letter to go, and there's his big shot. That will do it. Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers eliminates all-pro Doug Collins of the Philadelphia 76ers from this horse competition first round play. Bingo can fill it up from the outside. He's an original Cleveland Cavalier. Dates back to the first season of that team. And now he puts up a third letter on Doug Collins.
Call your shot, Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
And now Doug Collins is a letter away from elimination.
Hook shot.
Collins will call.
Wait.
We're coming to you from the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
A letter for Smith.
4 letters to 3. Doug Collins still with the advantage, and he needs to hit this.
Bingo.
Straight jump shot.
Bingo can close out Doug Collins now with a letter to go, and there's his big shot. That will do it. Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers eliminates All-Pro Doug Collins of the Philadelphia 76ers from this horse competition first-round play. Now let's meet Bobby Bingo Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Bobby, you've won a lot of games for the Cavs with that long jump shot, and that's what ultimately got Doug Collins.
I'm glad I did. He's a very talented ball player, and I was very fortunate he missed the shots that he normally makes.
Well, we're going to see you in that jump shot, that long jump shot for years and the rounds to come.
I hope so.
All right, Bobby Smith of the Cleveland Cavaliers. A loser in the first round receives $500. The winner, of course, advances, and next week you'll be watching Mike Newland of Houston against George Gervin of San Antonio. The NBA on CBS will return after this word from your local station.
A legally deceased husband tries to bring a dead marriage back to life in the hilarious comedy Baby, I'm Back, premiering Monday on CBS.
We are back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. The score, as you see at halftime, Cleveland holding to a 2-point lead, 60-58. There was a big announcement today in Boston. We'll have more on that, but let's first go to Jimmy the Greek Snyder, our friend, the pundit, with some talk about all these pro football coaching changes.
I'll bet you can guess what's on Jimmy the Greek's mind today, those wild coaching changes around the National Football League. Greek, our good friend, Hank Stram, fired by the New Orleans Saints, but why now? Why not right after the last season?
A matter of economics. Had he fired him before January the 20th, he would have had to pay him a full 3 years' salary that's coming up. But now, if he comes to CBS or he does anything else, that salary would be deducted from what is owed to him by the Saints.
Boy, New Orleans, could they go out now and hire George Allen instead of the Los Angeles Rams?
Well, definitely it could happen, but they say they're going to hire a coach within a week or 10 days, and it would take longer than that to negotiate with Allen.
Then who would the Greek make the favorite with the Saints?
Well, Dick Nolan is supposedly the favorite at this time.
Former head coach of San Francisco.
Right.
Jimmy, I read a lot about factions within the Los Angeles Rams and who they want as the next head coach.
3 factions. The players, some of the players, including the equipment manager and the trainer, want Malavasi. One of the other executives is looking towards Danny Reeves of Dallas, but I think CR, who is the father and the owner, I think he's leaning towards Allen.
I would take it then that George Allen would have to be the favorite in that situation.
We're still going to make him favorite.
Jimmy, I was rather surprised when Marty Schottenheimer left the New York Giants. I thought he'd done a fine job with their linebackers up there. Where's Marty headed?
I think he may go to Buffalo as an assistant to the man that left the Rams.
Listen, folks, tune in next week. I'm sure we're not finished around the NFL. There'll be some more changes. Jimmy, you have a nice week. We'll see you at the All-Star game in Atlanta.
I'll be there.
All right, Jimmy the Greek, we thank you. At the conclusion of today's game and each of our NBA telecasts during the season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Chevrolet will present a check for $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the Players College or University. Any student may be eligible to benefit from these scholarship funds. Today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast. Mandy, you and I will be voting for the MVP, and should we disagree, our producer, Bill Barnes, will cast the deciding vote. Immediately following today's NBA game, we'll see the final round of the Andy Williams San Diego Open Golf Tournament here on CBS. But now let's go to Pat Summerall for a report on the tournament.
The final round of the Andy Williams San Diego Open has been blessed with great Southern California weather, and we expect the golf to be just as good. Let's look at the scoreboard now. The name of Gene Littler has disappeared. Littler has dropped back to 4 under par. Jay Haas at 8 under par as he began the day is the leader, followed by Doug Toole, and neither one of those two has ever won a PGA event, by the way. Andy Bean, 6 under. Mark Feil, 6 under. Fuzzy Zeller, 6 under. Gene Littler has moved back now into contention at 6 under. He had dropped down as low as 4, followed by Bill Rogers, Greer Jones, John Schroeder, and Andy North. So it's all very close, all very tight. And we expect that's the way it's going to be all day. Now, let's get back to basketball.
There was a big story in basketball today. The longtime captain of the Boston Celtics, John Havlicek, announced that he'll retire following the current season. The reason the announcement is made at this time is because Boston wants to give the fans a final look at John Havlicek, an NBA All-Star for many years.
This is my 16th and final year with the Boston Celtics as a player, and I'm announcing the retirement today. It's something that I've thought about for a long time. I knew that this would be my last year when I reported at the beginning of the season. I'd talked with Red about it at various times, and during the course of the year, and even at the beginning of the season, I contemplated announcing it. But at the beginning of the season, you had the World Series and you had football into full swing, and it wasn't the appropriate time as far as we were concerned. And we feel that now it is the appropriate time, and a lot of people throughout the leagues who have seen me play for a period of time are going to be able to see me play in their city for the last time. So this is the reason that I'm doing it now. I knew it was going to happen even last summer.
All right, we thank WNAC-TV in Boston for their cooperation and assistance on bringing that report on the retirement at the end of the season of the great John Havlicek. How well he's remembered by the people in Columbus, Ohio, watching this game. When he led Ohio State to an NCAA championship and to numerous NBA championships at Boston. One of the great players in the history of the game, John Havlicek. Never less than a gentleman and always a flat-out competitor. He was something, wasn't he, Nendy?
How many stories I can remember about John Havlicek during those championship years of the Celtics. Always coming off the bench, always doing good things. And never looked for a last shot. It was John Havlicek to take it. And most of the times he made it. Great competitor.
Tonight's game's going to be on TV, Steve. You need a good shave.
I did shave, Havlicek, but my lucky razor just doesn't do such a great job.
Maybe it's not your razor. It's your beard. It just lays there. Get it to stand up. With electric shave. Williams Electric Shave. Let me tell you, it's really good. It sets up your beard so your razor shaves closer, smoother, with less irritation. Make your beard stand up. Make your razor shave better. Get electric shave. Oh, man.
Energy for a stronger America.
It starts here on the North Slope, the incredible 800-mile Trans-Alaska Pipeline. Now that it's completed, the oil it carries will reduce the payments America makes for foreign oil by billions of dollars each year. And each tanker of North Slope oil leaving Valdez Harbor carries a vital new source of energy for a strong America.
Now there's even more to love about new Chevy Love. New looks, plus the longest box of any economy-size pickup in America. A new soft ride suspension. A new 1,635-pound load capacity. And the kind of mileage you might expect. 34 miles per gallon highway. 24 city. Now there's even more to love. For everybody. Chevy truck. Built to stay tough.
Highway light poles can be treacherous, especially if they stop your car dead on impact. That's why Alcoa helped develop this special aluminum light pole system that breaks away on impact. The aluminum pole takes the beating instead of you. Breakaway aluminum poles are out there saving lives right now.
We can't wait. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Do you ever get the feeling that you're not really appreciated? Hi, I'm Mindy Rudolph, and I found a place where you can get appreciation and thanks. Now, I'm talking about your local United Way agencies, where the pledge you made to United Way is working year-round in hundreds of agencies and programs like this. Helping out here can really make you feel pretty tall. On behalf of all the little guys everywhere, I'd like to say thanks to you, it works, for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. The NBA on CBS is sponsored by all the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by the new Gillette Atra Razor, the impossible shave.
Back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. The score at halftime, as you see, is Cleveland 60, Detroit 58. The Cavaliers in the first half hit over 51%, and they also had 16 of 17 free throws, so they've done it all right in the shooting area, Mendy.
They played very well. The Cavaliers had Walt Frazier leading their offense early in the ball game. Did exceptionally well to open up a 13-point lead, but then came Al Skinner off the bench for Detroit, and along with Eric Money, added a new dimension to the Detroit offense. Skinner scored 10 points during that surge, and of course they're back in the ball game with a two-point deficit after being down by 13 twice.
We're going to see a good second half as they're set to go. There are the Cleveland Cavaliers huddling around their head coach Bill Fitch, and there's the halftime breakdown. Detroit a 48% shooting team. The free throws, Detroit is 8 of 8. Cleveland 16 of 17. You don't get much better than that ever. Assists are pretty even. Offensive rebounds. Turnovers are always interesting. And the way the ball is turned over in the first half, we see that they've each turned the ball over 11 times. So that evened up after Detroit was turning it over regularly early in the game.
And we can't forget that Cleveland scored 36 points in the first quarter, which was an awful lot of points. And they're scoring pretty well balanced, with Frazier leading it. You see Jones, Carr at 10, Rosler 7, Smith 6.
And the Cavaliers inbound the ball to start the third quarter. Foots Walker goes to Jim Jones, who lost Shoemate. Shoemate going for the steal. Jones gets a free shot. Elmore Smith tips it over, but M.L. Carr before it gets the ball, and here comes Chris Ford. Lead to Lanier. They clear a side for him, and Lanier shoots over Elmore Smith.
That is really not his shot. They'll give him that shot all day, but Bob Lanier has the great touch. You saw it for a big man.
I think just about every shot is Lanier's. He's got some touch for a big guy, doesn't he?
The problem with a shot like that, if you miss it, he's in no position to rebound. It's really a gamble shot that paid off.
Jones tries to show his off. He was bumped. He got an air ball away, and here comes Detroit again after tying the game at 60 on Lanier's jumper. We're knotted up at 60. Lanier going right to the basket in the third quarter, and the big guy puts up the first 4 points of the third quarter, and Detroit, behind by 13 twice in the first half, now rallies back to take the lead. Lanier has 15. Cleveland going from a pattern offense. They did well early in the game, you'll recall, running with the basketball. Now Detroit again gives Cleveland one shot and gets the rebound back. Shoemake gets it up court to Money. He slows it up, waiting for Lanier to get position. The little guy dancing behind the giant, and Money doesn't have enough on it. It'll come inbound to the Cavaliers. Mendy?
You can see right now the two guards. There was Ford and there was Money going for the rebound. How Detroit is hustling right now. Cleveland looks a little flat. They've got to get something going, something happening. And Footsy Walker is the guy who can turn them on.
Walker takes a look in low. He's not even 6 feet, I don't think. Shorter than Money, and Money's listed at 6 feet. A good move by Campy Russell, who is a streak shooter and who can burn you. He now has 9. And it is a 62-62 game early in the third quarter. Don Crickey with Mendy Rudolph at Cobo Arena in Detroit. These same two teams played last night at Richfield, Ohio. It was Detroit 115. Cleveland 105, and now Lanier has put 3 balls in the air since the third quarter started. He's hit all 3.
Elmore Smith looks to be playing a little overcautious out there. He has 3 fouls, did not leave his feet that time to block the shot, and I'm sure Lanier realizes this will take advantage of it. What Smith has got to do is overplay Lanier on the left side. He is a left-handed hook shot artist. Smith cannot play that cautiously.
Here is what's happening out in Denver at the half. Philadelphia holding to a 1-point lead over the Denver Nuggets, 64-63. Lanier has only 1 personal foul and 17 points. Walker works his way down, might have banged it off his foot. And Los Angeles starting to come on, has a 9-point lead over Washington at the half. LA has won 5 straight. Lanier tearing it up. Bob Lanier is 19 points, and Bill
Fitch will call timeout right now. He's got to start double teaming Lanier. Watch this now. Elmore Smith does not pick him up. Playing much too cautiously. Bill Fitch realizes this. He's got to start double teaming the big guy.
Introducing the third generation Monte Carlo. The third generation of a highly successful personal luxury car. Its highly original styling opens new dimensions in affordable luxury and in comfort. With more rear seat headroom, legroom, and hip room than last year's Monte Carlo. The third generation Monte Carlo. Drive it and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Showgirls of the MGM Grand for Color Track by RCA.
Do my flesh tones look right to you? Are my feathers green? Is my gown purple? If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. It locks in all the colors, including flesh tones. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about.
Before you see the color Track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
Now, this here's an oil for you and me from the good oil boys at STP. 15,000 miles it goes, and that's some oil. Goodness knows.
This STP motor oil is a good oil made great with a special blend of additives. Goes 15,000 miles between changes. That's a mighty long way. But STP wanted your car to have their best at a price that's best for you.
You get this oil naturally from the good oil boys at STP.
Shields and Yarnell, the fastest carnival of comedy you've just got to see. Premiering Tuesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central and Mountain.
We're back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. The Detroit Pistons, trailing by 2 points at the half, have come back on the hot shooting of Bob Lanier, who has hit 4 of 4 in the third quarter. There's Golden State leading the Boston Celtics 52-49 at the half. And Buffalo leading Atlanta 52-48 at the half. Bob Kaufman looks on as his Detroit Pistons have rallied back. They're going to Lanier down low. He is challenging Elmore Smith, who has 3 personal fouls. Lanier is getting it done now. He has 19 points for the game. Down low they go to Campy Russell. They clear aside for him one-on-one against M.L. Carr. And Campy Russell right into the square and down through the hoop.
There's just no way you're going to stop that kind of play.
He now has 11. We have 9 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Eric Money is shut off at the pass by Big Elmore Smith, and Lanier has now gone 5 for 5. He has hit 7 of his last 8 shots. 5 for 5 in the third quarter, and the Pistons have the 4-point lead again.
Elmore Smith broke off that time to double team Eric Money. Bob Lanier with a great shooting touch.
They're starting to go to Campy Russell. They want their streak shooter to get the bottom. Campy Russell responds with consecutive field goals. From nearby Pontiac Central High School, an All-American at the University of Michigan. Campy Russell is the leading scorer on the Cavaliers, an average of over 19 points a game. Ball comes back inbounds now to Detroit. There is the Detroit scoring. Lanier with 21, leading all scorers in the game. Eric Money takes a look as Lanier cuts across the lane, and now coming off the weak side is Chris Ford, who quickly points the finger at Money and says, "Thank you so very much."
Eric Money with a great overhead pass to Chris Ford. That baseline is always open. That shot will always be there. Of course, Chris Ford took a very difficult shot and made it.
Jones playing way away from the basket. Cleveland's on 2 7-footers in the game. They have Elmore Smith down low. They're setting a double low post. Walt Frazier has not put the ball in the air in the third quarter. It won't be long before he does. It's up. Rebound is tipped out. Puts Walker, feeds off to Elmore Smith. 8-footer, can't get it to go. And here come the Pistons on the run with a 4-point lead. M.L. Carr grimaces as he missed the shot he should have made. Up court it comes to Frazier. Cleveland pushing the ball back quickly. A slide goes around the back twice. Jones timed his jump too early. And they're going to give the ball to the Detroit Pistons inbound. Mendy.
Walt Frazier right now leading all scorers on Cleveland. He hasn't scored so far the first half. The second half, I should say. Lanier again. Woo!
Jones at 6'11" dribbles the ball down court. Campy Russell working on M.L. Carr. Russell, you can put a bag over his head when he thought it's going to go in.
What a streak shooter he is. Wow.
He's got 15. We have 7:05 to go in the third quarter. It is a 70-68 game. Detroit is in the lead, and now Detroit goes up by 4. As Eric Money gets his first field goal of the second half, he has 14. And Walker is rejected by Lanier with clean off flat. Ford leads to Money, leads to Carr, blocked by Elmore Smith. But M.L. Carr comes up with a free ball. Detroit really starting to play now. 16 points for Eric Money. And a 6-point lead for the Pistons, their biggest of the game. They trail by 13 in the second quarter, by 2 at the half. The game plan is Campy Russell. He is hitting for Cleveland.
Detroit scoring on layups. Campy Russell scoring on bombs.
Lanier darts in, feeds off the Carr. Rebound to Frazier, tipped away by Lanier. And Clyde Frazier brings it up the court, switching hands. Detroit does a good job overplaying the ball and then looking for help if the man goes to the weak side. It is now a 74-72 game. Detroit with a 2-point lead.
Ron, you got to give Cleveland a lot of credit. They're hanging here tough. Detroit's playing as well as they can play right now. Cleveland hanging tough.
Jones has now scored 13 for the Cavaliers. So, as we have a lot of sharp shooting in the third quarter, we have a break of the action with 5:35 to go in the third quarter, and Detroit holding to a 74-72 lead.
100 miles from nowhere, you prospect for black gold. With nothing but a steel pipe and sheer muscle, you punch holes in the seafloor, knowing that more often than not, you'll come up empty. But you take the gamble anyway, and give it everything you've got. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for shore and the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer.
If you use a dandruff shampoo, here are 3 new reasons to switch to Selsun Blue. Dry, normal, and oily. Now Selsun Blue comes with extra conditioners for dry hair, with extra cleansers for oily hair, properly balanced for normal hair. All with a fresh, clean, new fragrance. So now Selsun Blue can do what no other shampoo can, give you really effective control of dandruff in the formula designed for your type of hair.
Something real big is coming up on Wednesday night, February 15th, here on CBS at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Muhammad Ali puts his World Heavyweight Championship on the line live against the Olympic gold medalist Leon Spinks, the thrashing puncher who KO'd the Cubans at Montreal to win the gold medal in the light heavyweight division. Walt Frazier puts it up long. Campy Russell is 5 for 5 shooting here in the third quarter as we have a 2-point game, 74-72. Detroit Pistons with the ball. Chris Ford is harassed by Walt Frazier. Now Money gets a clear side on Walker. Walker playing him loose, and Money takes it in easily, but Frazier comes over to help out. Lanier looks, doubling up on Lanier, tripling up on Lanier if they can. No basket. We'd like to welcome the fans who have just joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cleveland Cavaliers in maroon and gold. The score is Detroit 74, Cleveland 72 with 4:40 to play in the third quarter. In this game, the Detroit Pistons jumped out to a 13-point first quarter lead. And that lead again after Detroit came back and had another 13-point lead, but Detroit cut it to 2 at the half. And then Bob Lanier hitting shot after shot in the third quarter has brought Detroit to the front, but now Elmore Smith, the 7-foot center of the Cavaliers, has a chance to tie the game. If he can hit his 8th point of the game, he cannot. It's still a 1-point lead now for Detroit as they have the ball with 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Here comes Foots Walker, feeding the ball up to Walt Frazier. Rebound by Elmore Smith. Too much out of this. Lanier was in there intimidating. Lanier throws to Ford, 2-on-1. Lead goes to N.L. Carr. And down it goes. And it's a 76-73 game. Detroit and Campy Russell now goes 6 for 6. He has 19 points. Mendy?
Good thing Campy Russell's in that lineup because he is keeping Cleveland close.
Eric Money goes to Shoemate. Elmore Smith blocked the shot, but in so doing also got John Shoemate, so the big kid from Notre Dame will go to the free throw line. Let's watch that last stuff.
Here's that dunk by Elmore Carr. Watch this beautiful fast break. Lanier with the lead pass to Ford. Ford knows exactly where everybody is. Elmore Carr coming down as the trailer. No question about it. Slam dunk away.
We have 3:46 to play in the third quarter. John Shoemate made the step. Made it go. He has 15 points.
What?
Elmore Smith takes it down. Here comes Clyde Frazier. 3:40 to go in the third quarter as Frazier looks to put it up off the baseline. He is doubled up by Shoemate and Ford, but finds Elmore Smith free with a slam dunk. Smith has 9. And it's a tie game at 77. Eric Money guns the shot up. Too much on it. Not enough arc. Rebound carrying off the back of the hoop. But back inbounds it comes to Detroit. The 7th time in this game that the score has been tied. Money tries again. He can't find it. He was hot early, but he can't get it to go now. Foots Walker tries to beat him down the floor, and it looks like Eric Money might have hacked him. That'll be the third on Eric Money. And
I'll tell you, as long as Campy Russell keeps hitting those jump shots, Cleveland will stay close. If he stops missing, they're going to be in an awful lot of trouble. As the old cliche goes, you live by the jump shot, you're going to die by the jump shot.
Here comes Leon Douglas back in the game now for the Detroit Pistons. The big center from Alabama playing a power forward. Actually, he is the center right now as Lanier is sitting it out, and John Shoemate is down as the strong man up front. N.L. Carlo running forward. The weak forward here is Lambert back in the game for the Cavaliers, going to Jones. And Leon Douglas goes way up. He tries that overhand outlet pass like Chris Ford coming up court now, working off a pick from Douglas, tries to go into the lane and gets the ball back out. It was off the foot of the Cavalier, back inbounds. It will come, and it'll come inbounds to Cleveland. Last touch by N.L. Carr.
Off the foot of John Shoemate. A bad pass at that point. As we look at Campy Russell, who has really kept Detroit, I should say Cleveland, in this ball game, doing a tremendous job with outside shooting.
I've heard Gerald Yepremian has more power than Dave Casper.
More power? Him? I have new right guard power pump antiperspirant. So I got banned big.
For most people, Dave, right guard's formula has more power. For some, up to twice as much.
Power against wetness.
What's more, you can spray twice as much than basic and still not match the power of right guard. New right guard power pump.
Don't get fresh without it.
Could Gillette make a razor that does the impossible? Yes. Could it shave closer with even more comfort? Yes. Gillette introduces Afra, the first razor with a pivoting head that safely follows every contour of your face. This Afra face-hugging action keeps the twin blades at the perfect angle. You've never shaved this close with this much comfort.
Impossible.
The new Gillette Afra razor. Yes, it's the impossible shave.
See what you do today.
Hello, I'm the new 1978 four-door Chevy Chevette hatchback. Come on inside. I've got lots of room. For you and for cargo, I give you all these standard features. From an AM radio to reclining bucket seats. Some small cars charge you extra for them. I don't. I'm the new 78 four-door Chevy Chevette, and I'm a lot of car for the money. I think we're going to like each other.
Big Bob Lanier has been hitting and hitting in the third quarter. He's now up to 21 points for the game as we still have 2:42 left to play. He'll be an all-star for a sixth time next Sunday as CBS brings you the NBA All-Star game from the Omni in Atlanta starting at 1:45 Eastern Time. Bill Walton leads the Western All-Stars against Julius Erving and the Eastern All-Stars. Next Sunday, the All-Star game on CBS. Be sure to stay tuned for the MVP award of this game at the conclusion of the game. We're late in the third quarter. 2:40 to play in it. It's a tight game. Couldn't be any tighter. It's locked up at 77. Beats Walker as Skinner is in the game. He ignited the Pistons when he came in the second quarter. Walt Frazier tries to drive on Ford. The ball is tipped away, and Shoemate comes down with the rebound. And here comes Lambert up court with the ball, and Douglas hits the floor. We have a whistle from Mahalik.
And there's a block. Leon Douglas got blocked off as he came into front court. You'll watch this on the replay. Watch as we hit the midcourt line. Leon Douglas will come on up. There's the block. John Vanna called it from underneath. And a good call. The ball will go back to Detroit.
So Ford will inbound the ball now for Detroit. He is working in the backcourt with Al Skinner, who has the basketball, and Frazier against him. They set a double pick down to the left side. Gus Gerard and Leon Douglas, they break off it. Gerard calling for the ball. Shoemate fires it up for layup. Offensive interference. Ball is back over to Cleveland.
Leon Douglas a little too anxious that time to get the offensive rebound. Had he had his hands off, it had a chance to score. That's something you really can't do. Instinctively, you go up and get that ball. Hopefully, it's off the ring when you do it.
And we now have 2 minutes and 3 seconds to play in the third quarter. There was a 2-point game at the half. Cleveland in the lead. It is now a tie game at 77. A fight, and Leon Douglas outworks the opposition, gets the rebound, and goes up court to Skinner. Douglas goes back door. Too much on it by Chris Ford. And here comes Campy Russell behind the back at 6'8". Right back the other way, a little bit sloppy as they turn the ball over. Starting to look like a track meet out there. John Lambert shoots. Doesn't get it done, and here comes Detroit on the fly. We welcome those of you who have joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the maroon and gold. The score is Detroit 79, Cleveland 77 with a minute to go in the third quarter. It has been a back-and-forth game. After Detroit fell behind by 13 in the second quarter, they've come back in the third quarter. Bob Lanier has been hitting. He has 21 points for the game. Hit 5 shots in a row to open the third quarter to get the Pistons in the lead for the first time. It has been a racehorse game. This is Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph at Cobo Arena as Leon Douglas, the big center out of Alabama, knocks one down for Detroit. And it is an 81-77 game. The Pistons with a 4-point lead.
And Cleveland desperately needs a field goal right here to close this gap. Detroit has caught fire, and they'll need it badly.
It has been a very fast-paced game. Both teams running. Cleveland, normally a pattern team, has done better when they push the ball up the court. In the third quarter, they've tended to pattern run. Now, Jones hits it, and so it is an 81-79 game. Detroit with 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. As Ford comes up court now, looks inside, and Ford pulls up and takes the free shot. Jones didn't have to leave the ground to get the rebound. As Campy Russell didn't get it away in time, and so it is as tight as it was at the half, only the lead has switched. You had a 4-point swing instead of Detroit trailing by 2. The Pistons lead by 2 heading into the fourth quarter.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Say that, men? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Hit it! Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must.
You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Trusted filters by AC.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway star in Chinatown, the premiere presentation of the CBS Tuesday night movies, this Tuesday on CBS.
In the game now for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Campy Russell, Austin Carr is back in, Jim Jones, John Lambert, and Walt Frazier. Al Skinner with the ball for the Detroit Pistons, working in the back line with Chris Ford. Up front, Gus Girard, Leon Douglas, and John Shoemate. They are saving Bob Lanier to make that run as the fourth quarter wears on. We're in the opening moments of the fourth quarter here at Detroit. 81-79, as you see Bob Lanier looking on solemnly. But it has been his effort primarily in the third quarter that has catapulted Detroit from behind into the lead. A lead of just 2 points. Girard pulls up. Jones loses the ball. Does he save it? He does not. Detroit gets it back.
He tried. He tried.
He tried.
Made a good rebound. Looked for somebody on the outlet pass. Couldn't find Austin Carr near enough.
Cleveland's turned the ball over 14 times. Detroit has 15 turnovers in the game. Leon Douglas, he'll muscle you. He just went right after Lambert and put it up over him.
Strategy for Detroit is obvious right now. They're going to go into Leon Douglas and bust Lambert. They don't feel he's that good of a business player. Leon Douglas can play extremely well with his back to the basket.
Elmore Smith getting a rest right now. Austin Carr goes low to Jones. Douglas can cut up. And Lambert follows the ball in nicely off the offensive rebound.
And John Shoemate is a little disgusted with himself. Did not get the good inside position on Lambert. Did not box him out there for the field goal.
Andy, this looks like one of those games going to come right down to the final gun. As it's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. A 2-point game at the half, a 2-point game at the end of 3 quarters. Chris Ford turning around. Not quite enough there, and Jones sweeps it down, looking for the outlet. Ford counters nicely, drops off, and cuts off the passing lane. No fast break for Cleveland. Lambert takes a look. Douglas is with him. Campy Russell, they'd like to let him go one-on-one. Blocked by Gerard. We're going to have a foul. It looks like Russell. No question. He hacked.
Good call, Don. Gus Gerard will time this shot perfectly. It's a one-on-one situation. Gus Gerard stays on his feet, knows when Campy Russell's going to shoot. That is absolute beautiful instinct.
Campy Russell, he's fluid. Throw it up behind his head, or if you give him that step, he'll go right by you onto the basket. Here is Leon Douglas working hard. Chris Ford at 6'5", sweeps down the offensive board. Back to Gerard. Off the handle. And still, Detroit keeps possession of the ball.
Detroit's getting 3 and 4 shots at the basket right now. What they've got to do is to look at the Philadelphia-Denver score, 86-84. Cleveland's got to cut off that second and third shot by Detroit.
Campy Russell fired an elbow, and he puts Chris Ford down with a shot to the forehead.
A little accidental. Campy Russell took the rebound, got a little over anxious, tried to get everybody away from him, did not realize Chris Ford was there. It was really an accidental elbow, but Chris Ford is hurt. Watch Campy Russell now. The ball will go up. Now watch Campy Russell's right elbow as he will pick the ball up. He'll swing not knowing who's there, and unfortunately catches Chris Ford, which will result in a 2-shot foul. Detroit will call a timeout, Don, to attend to Chris Ford. He took a shot. I don't know whether it was in his nose or in his forehead, but I'll tell you, that's got to smart. Those elbows are hard. That's one of the reasons they put that rule in there about the swinging of elbows, the 2-shot foul.
That comes as a 2-shot foul regardless of what the penalty situation is, a delivered elbow foul. Now we have a timeout on the floor with 10:06 to go in the game, and Detroit continues to hold to a 2-point lead, 83-81. The Sports Spectacular next Saturday, an outstanding lineup. Howard Davis, another Olympian who won a gold medal at Montreal, will put his unbeaten record on the line as a professional against Jose Fernandez. That's live from Las Vegas. You'll also see live coverage of the 24 Hours of Daytona, where the supercars hit speeds of 230 miles an hour. And then from Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Times Indoor Games, one of the premier indoor track meets. Field this year including 42 Olympians from 13 countries. That's all coming your way next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Central and Pacific. The CBS Sports Spectacular. Chris Ford apparently about ready to go back after it. Shaken up. Looking at the point totals in this game so far, with Detroit leading by 2. Lanier is their leading scorer with 21. Shoemaker hit 17, got 12 in the first quarter. Austin Carr has 4. Eric Money has hit 16 points. Ford with 4. Gerard with 4. Leon Douglas with 5. Al Skinner with 10 all in the first half. For the Cavaliers, Campy Russell has now come up through to hit for 19 points. Jones has 15. Elmore Smith has 9. Walt Frazier has 16 points, all in the first half. Did not score yet in the second half. Shut out in the third quarter. Carr has 10. And there is another tight game out at McNichols Arena in Denver. The 76ers leading by 2, and now Washington, behind by a substantial margin at one point in the game, has rallied back to take a 3-point lead over the L.A. Lakers at Landover, Maryland. Now, Mandy, what would happen if Chris Ford was fouled like that and was unable to shoot the free throws? Who would pick the free throw shooter?
One of the players on the court, the 4 remaining players, would have to shoot the free throws.
Who would select him?
The opposing coach.
The opposing coach. Campy Russell fires it up, and Russell, who has been red hot throughout the third, he had 7 points at the half, has hit for 14 second half points And it's a one-point game. Detroit's lead by 1. Austin Carr on the run. Nobody on the flanks. So Carr pulls up and guides it down nicely. And Cleveland has come back to take the lead. 85-84 with 9:26 to play.
This is how Cleveland did it earlier in the game. They ran, they pushed the ball down court, and they're back into that pattern right now.
Al Skinner with his 11th and 12th points. And Detroit takes back the lead by 1. 86-85.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chris Ford going nose-to-nose with Walt Frazier. And that's the way he's been keeping Frazier under control. Chest to chest, body to body. You'll watch this push now. Of course, he shut Frazier out this entire first half. Second half, where he scored 16. There's the bump. Good call by the officials. They got to cut that out front. No way you can operate when you get that kind of contact.
That's the 4th personal foul on Chris Ford, so he takes the rest. Eric Money is back in the game now for the Pistons. Walt Frazier outside to Jones. Here is Campy Russell looking to fire. He's been hot. Campy Russell can do no wrong as he now has hit down 23 points. 16 here in the second half. And it's an 87-86 game. Cleveland is back with the lead as Leon Douglas fires it up. Cavaliers now hitting the defensive board hard. Lambert got it up to Frazier. Skinner, glove tight on Frazier. Campy Russell knocks it down, and he was fouled on the play, just ripping it open.
Good play by Walt Frazier. He saw the man cutting to the hoop. Campy Russell will cut across the passing lane. Walt Frazier keeping his eyes on a peripheral vision, sees him coming. Watch this beautiful pass. There's the bounce pass, the classic bounce pass, and there's his possible three-point play.
Campy Russell, after leading Michigan to the Big Ten title in 1974 and a berth in the NCAA playoffs, was Cleveland's first hardship pick. He left Michigan after his junior year. Was signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers, averaging over 19 points a game. Lanier comes in with the left hand. He has 23. And Cleveland now has the 2-point lead, 90-88. Cavaliers working pattern offense now. They're getting a good shot. They're looking to go to Campy Russell, who's been so hot in the second half. Down low, Lambert is free. He beats Gerard.
Perfect pick-and-roll play, the classic pick-and-roll play. Found the open man under the hoop. Beautiful pass. Easy field goal.
And so the Cavaliers, who had a 2-point lead at the half and then lost it in the third quarter, were down at the start of the fourth quarter by 2, have rallied ahead by 4, 92-88.
And Cleveland right now, Don, playing a much tougher defense inside. They're collapsing. They're double picking as M.L. Carr comes into the ball game. The defense right now has brought Cleveland back.
They really have, and the Cavaliers are very, very hard off the defensive board. They're allowing Detroit just one shot, and then Cleveland's been getting the ball back here early in the fourth quarter. We have 7:40 to play in the game right now. This could be an overtime game, though, the way they're going. Rebound down to Eric Money. Takes a look up court, surveys the field, and guns the pass. It's intercepted by Campy Russell. It's a 4-on-2 break. Campy Russell feeds off to Lambert. Feeds off to Austin Carr. And the rebound is down to Leon Douglas, tipped away by Austin Carr. Frazier goes to Lambert. Rebound of Skinner. 3 chances at it. M.L. Carr sliding and laying it in off the backboard. Makes it a 92-90 game as Detroit rallies back to within 2.
And Cleveland had 3 chances down there. Again, good defense by Detroit. It's a great defensive battle right now. Both teams are running well. Very exciting ball game.
Well, this Campy Russell is just remarkable.
There was just no spot on the court that he can't score from.
He has 28 points, 21 in the second half. A 4-point advantage for Cleveland. Leon Douglas puts people in the air, but a brick jackhammer touch and nowhere near a completion. And here comes Austin Carr firing. Down to Skinner. All out there going flat out, despite the fact they played last night in Cleveland. Basket would have gone had it dropped. We'll have a shooting foul.
Forward position is everything in rebounding. At that time, Lanier had the inside position on 3 Cleveland players. Perfectly timed the rebound. We'll watch this as he goes to the hoop. Now watch Lanier. Perfect position inside. That's where you've got to be.
Here's a few tips on how to get out of an airport fast. 1, join the #1 club and reserve a car with Hertz. 2, have your license and credit card ready, because Hertz will be ready for you. 3, need directions? Ask Hertz. They know the shortest route. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster. Nobody can get you out of an airport faster.
Go, Juice! Go!
Rent a Ford from Hertz.
The superstar is rent your car.
Ride.
You're the Pepsi generation.
I never won anything before. Man, it's always the first time.
Come and have a Pepsi day. Come on, make this day a celebration. Come on, join the Pepsi generation. Come on, and have a Pepsi day.
Hi-ho. Your Admiral here to inspect your shipload of values.
Ready for inspection, sir, with outstanding values. We're offering this automatic ice maker kit free with selected Admiral side-by-side refrigerators.
Roger.
No, it's Walter, sir.
Roger.
And on Admiral television sets that adapt for remote control, the remote control unit is free, a feature that could cost up to $90 on some other brands.
A shipload of values you can be proud of, lad.
Sale ends February 4th at participating Admiral dealers.
There's Bob Lanier. What an all-star player he's been. He'll be in that game again next Sunday at Atlanta. He was the MVP in the all-star game in 1974. And immediately following this game, we'll be going out to San Diego for this week's stop on the PGA Tour, the Andy Williams San Diego Open. That's following NBA basketball here on CBS. This is Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph at the Cobo Arena in Detroit. 6:19 to play in the game, and it's a 4-point advantage now for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mendy, after seeing all the ice and snow that we've seen the last couple of days in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan, it'll be a pleasure to see those palm trees out in San Diego.
Lanier at the free throw line. Had 140 inches of snow in South Bend where they're watching the game on WSBT TV.
Unbelievable winter. I thought last year was bad.
They will jump it up if they don't start slugging each other first.
And you think the intensity out there isn't heavy? Fighting for every rebound. Jones and Lambert had a little mistake that time. They should have taken the rebound cleanly, but Elmore Carr was quick enough to pick it on up.
Leon Douglas heads for the basket. There was a foul call prior to it.
No, let me correct you, Don. No tap.
All right.
They're going to re-jump it.
Which they do. Here's the lead man open, but Lanier fields the ball. Campy Russell was ahead of the field. But Lanier got in the way and intercepted. So we have 6:03 to play in the game. A 3-point advantage for Cleveland. Detroit can come to within 2. As Lanier looks, goes out to Eric Money. Shot clock is down to 7. What is the guy 6'10" doing shooting from 25 feet? Then Douglas throws it away. So Leon Douglas, 2 errant plays, and here comes Austin Carr protecting the ball with his body and gliding through to hit the basket to make it 96-91 Cleveland.
And Leon Douglas with 2 bad plays in a row. He paid the price.
Austin Carr has now hit 14 points. Here's the final score in New Orleans. What's that? 8 straight for New Orleans. Elgin Baylor and the Pistol getting their act together down there now as New Orleans wins its 8th straight game. A 3-second turnover is resulting in Cleveland getting the ball back with a 5-point lead, 96-91, 5:23 to play. The home court right now has not been holding up in this back-to-back series as Detroit won at Richfield, Ohio last night, and now Cleveland has the lead here as we're getting pretty close to head towards the stretch. Frazier fires. Lanier rebounds. He's fouled by Russell. Five team fouls now.
All that screaming and yelling now was for a backcourt foul. We'll have to watch on the replay to see if Lanier was on the floor when the foul occurred. If he was, it should have been a 2-shot foul. The referee ruled he was not. Therefore, the backcourt foul was not called. However, they're in the penalty situation, Don, so he will attempt 2 free throws as opposed to 3 for 2.
I know one individual you won't see Campy Russell throwing any mistaken elbows at. That's Bob Lanier. Big guy tees off and the lights go out.
I heard him say one day in the ballgame, "You hit me and I go down. You just better make sure I don't get up."
Did he really?
Yes, you did.
To the basket goes Campy Russell. What do they have him on? He was battling an extra step by Campy Russell, and so now Detroit trailing by 3 points, 96-93, with 4:57 left to play in the game. Gets the ball back, and the Pistons looking to cut it back to 1. Eric Money dancing with a dribble. Eric Money has been silent for a while, but now he has 18 points.
He'll turn them on. He and Skinner will come back into this ball game. This has all been done with Elmore Smith on the bench. John Lambert has been doing a pretty good job against Bob Lanier so far. The offense has picked up with Elmore Smith on the bench. As you look at Bob Lanier going to the Detroit bench for a well-needed wrench, we have a 96-95 ball game, Don. A good game with 4:43 left.
When you farm your own land, the work never ends. But you do it with pride and all the strength you can muster. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
To the more than 600,000 people who bought the new Chevrolet during its very first year, thank you. You've made it the most popular car in America. For the rest of you, a simple reminder. With its advanced design, the new Chevrolet has more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, and more. So drive it. The new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it.
What are more people doing to help their cars last? Protecting them better than ever with Quaker State Motor Oil. Regular use of Quaker State helps avoid expensive engine repairs, helps cars last. Refined from Pennsylvania-grade crude oil, Quaker State helps cars last. Maybe that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in America. Quaker State helps cars last.
With Mendy Rudolph, this is Don Crickey as Bob Lanier is yet to play the defense for the Detroit Pistons. Elmore Smith is back in to go against him on offense for the Cavaliers as Frazier brings the ball up. The Cavaliers in the maroon and gold uniforms are leading the game 96-95 with 4:30 left to play. Austin Carr against Eric Money. Campy Russell has hit. Time and again, he has 11 free field goals in the second half. And now as Elmore Smith puts the ball up, Jim Jones, he can't get it to go, but he does draw the foul in there.
That shows you the difference with Elmore Smith in the ball game, along with Jim Jones, completely dominating the offensive board that time, creating the situation, and Jim Jones will go to the free throw line.
Bob Lanier has so far hit 26 points and has not taken down 16 rebounds. We'll be announcing our Chevrolet Most Valuable Player at the conclusion of the game. Jim Jones now with 17 points. It's 98-95 again, the three-point advantage for Cleveland. Eric Money against Austin Carr. Carr got the ball. Rebound to Jones. Here comes Carr. 1-on-2, and Lanier is back, so that'll shut it off. Be a foul call on Shoemake. And now, both teams, Detroit and Cleveland, are over the limit.
Every foul from here on in is very, very important. They'll go to the free throw line on every personal foul called.
Austin Carr at the free throw line. He is an 80% career free throw shooter. Bill Fitch and Jimmy Rogers look on as the Cleveland Cavaliers now annex their lead to 5. 195, and we're inside 4 minutes to play. Al Skinner takes a look.
Oh, yeah. Elmore Smith did everything he could for Lanier not to get position.
They're all shooting fouls now.
Awful lot of body contact in there with Smith on defense and Lanier on offense. He tries to deny Lanier the position, and when he does so, he's got to be awful careful about his arms.
Bob Lanier, who's closing in on 13,000 career points. He's in his 8th NBA season. They're all big free throws, but Emil Carr gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up and down. And it's 100-98. We again welcome the fans who have joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cavaliers are in maroon and gold, and the score is Cleveland 100, Detroit 98. As we're heading down the stretch with 3:20 to play, Bob Lanier leads all scorers in the game with 27 points. And it's going to be a tight finish as with 3:21 to go, Cleveland holds to a 2-point advantage. Campy Russell is the game's leading scorer. He has scored 28 points. Hit 10 of his first 11 shots here in the second half. Jim Jones puts in his 18th point and gives Cleveland a 3-point lead. Shoemake gets the loose ball. 3:15 to play.
We're going to have a finish right down to the wire. You can sense it, you can smell it, you can see it in their players' eyes, Don.
Lanier with a great fake, puts the ball up over Elmore Smith.
Now with the right hand. Strictly a left-handed shooter, they have a great fake and use the wrong hand.
Bill Fitch and Jimmy Rogers look on as the Cleveland Cavaliers now annex their lead to 5. 195, and we're inside 4 minutes to play. Al Skinner takes a look.
Oh, yeah. Elmore Smith did everything he could for Lanier not to get position.
They're all shooting fouls now.
Awful lot of body contact in there with Smith on defense and Lanier on offense. He tries to deny Lanier the position, and when he does so, he's got to be awful careful about his arms.
Bob Lanier, who's closing in on 13,000 career points. He's in his 8th NBA season. They're all big free throws, but Emil Carr gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up and down. And it's 100-98. We again welcome the fans who have joined us here in Detroit. The Pistons are in white, the Cavaliers are in maroon and gold, and the score is Cleveland 100, Detroit 98. As we're heading down the stretch with 3:20 to play, Bob Lanier leads all scorers in the game with 27 points. And it's going to be a tight finish as with 3:21 to go, Cleveland holds to a 2-point advantage. Campy Russell is the game's leading scorer. He has scored 28 points. Hit 10 of his first 11 shots here in the second half. Jim Jones puts in his 18th point and gives Cleveland a 3-point lead. Shoemake gets the loose ball. 3:15 to play.
We're going to have a finish right down to the wire. You can sense it, you can smell it, you can see it in their players' eyes, Don.
Lanier with a great fake, puts the ball up over Elmore Smith.
Now with the right hand. Strictly a left-handed shooter, they have a great fake and use the wrong hand.
Lanier has 29 points. He has 18 rebounds. With 2:53 to go, Cleveland's lead is a single point. Frazier takes a look at Jones. Across court to Russell, a streak shooter. And Russell's shot that went down was negated prior to it. There was a foul. M.L. Carr of Detroit. Back in the game now is the steady play of Chris Ford, and there goes Al Skinner, who's given the Detroit Pistons a lot off the bench again in this game, as he did last night when he came off to hit 20. 2:46 to go.
I'm sure Bobby Crawford feels now it's going to be defense. Chris Ford has got the matchup against Walt Frazier, cut him off from leading the Cleveland attack, therefore he's in the ball game.
Campy Russell now has 29 points. M.L. Carr with the rebound inside court. Detroit can tie the game. 102-100 Cleveland. Eric Money with the ball. Austin Carr playing him cautiously. Lanier comes out to pick. Money shoots. Game is tied. Money has 20 points. As you see, 102-102. Detroit battling back with good rebound and then steady play at the offensive end, waiting for the good shot. Frazier, as the shot clock winds down to 9. M.L. Carr doubles up on the ball. Elmore Smith works on Lanier. Missed it all. Shoemate has the ball. Up to Eric Money. Lead to Lanier, and the big guy heads to the hoop. Off glass, and Lanier with another big play. Bob Lanier puts the Detroit Pistons in the lead. 104-102, and they're up and cheering the captain of the Pistons, Bob Lanier, who has now put through 31 points.
You've got to give an awful lot of credit to Eric Money, too, leading that fast break, catching the ball at midcourt, looking for someone underneath, pushes the ball up, catches the big guy over on the right side, off your screen. There's Lanier with a good touch. He'll take the jump shot, fake it up, go up, score the hoop, and Eric Money is leading the fast break. He did that in the second quarter. He's doing it late here in the fourth quarter. Now, Cleveland wants to stay in this ball game. That's the one thing they've got to cut off. They've got to cut off the fast break of the Detroit Pistons.
And we remind you that coming up Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time is the Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. With your host, Tom Brookshire, McLean Stevenson, and Barbara Rhodes, you'll see celebrities going one-on-one to determine who's the real sport. The first show will feature people like Gavin McLeod against Mackenzie Phillips in the Mini Grand Prix, Billy Crystal versus Aaron Moran in the obstacle course. As you know, Gavin McLeod plays the captain on Love Boat. Mackenzie Phillips plays One Day at a Time. Billy Crystal is on soap. Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And immediately following the game, we remind you to stay tuned for live coverage of the fourth and final round of the San Diego Open Golf Tournament. The host, Andy Williams. Jay Haas, a young player, went into the fourth round with a one-shot lead over Gene Littler, a native San Diegan. And, of course, the great player on the tour this year and last year, Tom Watson's in the field there. So, Bob Kaufman shouting out the officials. He thought Lanier was foul when he went in and banked that shot in. The basket went, of course, and it gave Detroit the 2-point lead, 104-102.
The reason for the delay out here right now, Don, is we're in the last 2 minutes. And with Cleveland calling timeout, they have a choice of putting the ball in play wherever they care to. At this point, they've chosen to put it in play at midcourt.
The chant for defense comes up and rises and cascades down from the high reaches of Cobo Arena as the Cleveland Cavaliers have the basketball inside. Lanier intercepts Jones' pass. And now, Chris Ford wisely puts his two hands in the air, settle it down, play down the game clock by working down the shot clock. Lanier looks, hands off to Money. He's going to fire it up. Didn't go, and there's going to be a foul over the top on M.L. Carr. So Eric Money, in his youth and inexperience, gunned up a shot when Detroit could have worked the game clock down more.
Well, watch M.L. Carr. He'll come into your picture as soon as Eric Money releases. Little over-anxious, not getting good position on the rebound, forces the rebound up. Very costly because at this point, every foul is a free throw. Campy Russell with a chance to tie.
Final score in. Golden State prevails over the Boston Celtics 99-98. A lot of tight games today. Right here in Detroit, we have one that's a one-point game right now, and Campy Russell, if he can hit his 31st point on the next free throw, will lock it up at 104-104. Knot it up. game is tied. 1:32 left to play in regulation. The Pistons with 3 straight wins go down low to Bob Lanier. The big guy is only great as Lanier has now hit 33 points. It's been a shootout in the second half between Lanier of the Pistons and Campy Russell of the Cavaliers. 1:15 to play.
And Bob Lanier right now is on Campy Russell. There's a switch over there. We'll see if Cleveland takes advantage of it. ML Carr is back on him. You've got to look for Campy Russell at this point.
Jones is free, and Jones knocks it down. And now, as the Pistons bring it up the court with the game tied at 1:06, the game clock winds down under a minute. Eric Money tries to go to Lanier. It was knocked out of bounds by Austin Carr. The game clock shows 54 seconds. The shot clock 16 for Detroit.
As we wind down, it looks like who's going to take the last shot will probably win it.
It looks that way. It's going to come right down to the final horn, Mendy. Here is Eric Money, who's shooting when there's better people to do it. Tapped up by Shoemate, and the rebound is down to Campy Russell. Eric Money wanting to put the game away when they got a guy in Lanier who's hitting everything. He's throwing it in from the locker room. That is the time remaining in the game. Right now we're tied 106-106. Jones with a rebound. Back up. Not enough there. Rebound fought for. Lanier tips it over to Powell. 23 seconds left. And now, as Money brings it over the timeline, the Pistons signal a timeout.
Boy, on that last series of plays, I don't know why Cleveland just did not take the ball back and work it for the last shot. They had plenty of time. They could have run out the clock. There was only 24 seconds when they rebounded. They did not take advantage of the clock. They put the ball right back up, missed twice. All they had to do was pass it out to one of the guards, run the clock off for the last shot. They didn't do that. They turned the ball over to Detroit. Now Detroit has a chance with 17 seconds to play for the last shot.
And then while we have a moment, we remind our people that coming up on Sunday, February 5th at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the Impossible Dream ballooning across the Atlantic. This is the attempts of 2 independent groups of Americans to cross the Atlantic in a balloon, a true life story of men against nature. CBS Sports was there to record the story, The Impossible Dream, and I think it's highly impossible, but we'll see how they make out.
On that last series of plays, Don, I looked at Bill Fitch, and he was screaming wildly to throw the ball out to one of the guards to start the play all over again. No one heard him. Of course, in their anxiety, they put the ball up. You have an awful lot of confidence when you're out there with a ball player. You feel you can go up there and score at will. You're maybe 7 feet or 8 feet away from the basket. It's awful tempting to put that jump shot up, but a good, intelligent ball club would not have done that. Not saying that Cleveland is not an intelligent ball club. They are. But what they should have done at that point, throw the ball outside, start the play over again. They had a full 24-second count to do so. They didn't do it, and let's see if they'll pay the price for it.
Well, we've had 2 sensational performances as we've got to be thinking about our MVP here, Mendy. Bob Lanier with 33 points, 22 in the second half. Campy Russell with 31 points. He scored 24 in the second half.
I'm going to hedge my vote. I say if Detroit wins,
That's
it's
right.
got to go to Lanier. And, of course, if Detroit loses and Cleveland wins, it's got to go to Campy Russell.
So either some young individual at University of Michigan or St. Bonaventure will be getting beneficiary of a $1,000 scholarship. Washington beats the Los Angeles Lakers, ending their 5-game streak. And so we are going to go now to the final 17 seconds of this game here at Cobo Arena in Detroit. Don Criqui with Mendy Rudolph as Chris Ford inbounds the ball. Austin Carr gives to Eric Money. Jones is fronting Lanier. 10 seconds. You see the clock ticking down. That's the game clock. Looking to draw the foul. ML Carr gets the ball down to Shoemate. He puts it up. Lanier up at the buzzer. No good. We go to overtime.
Oh, and Elmore Smith, what a block he made. Lanier was in perfect position to throw up a short 4 or 5 footer. Elmore Smith timed it perfectly, made the biggest block of the ball game. Overtime, Criqui. Shot will go in. Now watch this replay. Watch Elmore Smith. He'll switch off, get in position to rebound. Shoemate will force the shot. Lanier with the rebound. Now watch Smith come from nowhere. Block the shot. Great defensive play. Overtime.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller.
Yeah?
They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it. No.
I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up. No. I want light. Tastes great. Right. Has a third less calories than a regular beer. Yeah. And, man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, reclining bucket seats, white-wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, a 1.6-liter engine, 18 new standard features in all, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more cars for a lot less money.
106-106 is the regulation final, and now we go to a 5-minute overtime. Mendy, set the various basics of that, if you would.
Let me do it if I can, Don, quickly. We have 2 timeouts allowed to each club. They're allowed 3 team fouls only, and the 4th team foul is the penalty situation.
Detroit is 0 for 3 in overtime games so far. Cleveland has won 2 overtime games as many times out this year. Our statistician today, George Maskin. We thank him, and a special thanks go to our producer, Bill Barnes, our director, Bob Dunphy. As John Shumate jumps up against Elmore Smith, Lanier gets the tap. It's been my experience, Mendy, that oftentimes the team that hits first in the overtime goes on to win it. Lanier puts it up. Superior. 35 for Lanier, a 2-point lead for Detroit. A 5-minute overtime period. Austin Carr gets the ball out to Clyde Frazier. Out to Jim Jones, who's knocked it in from 20 feet away. We're locked up at 108. Shumate heads to the basket, puts it up over Jones, but not enough there. Lanier gets the rebound in side court. And Lanier has been absolutely brilliant.
He has been sensational.
Extraordinary play by Bob Lanier. 37 points. His shooting percentage has to be about 80% in the second half, or higher. Campy Russell takes the look as the Pistons lead by 2. Russell fires. Boy, he hadn't missed in a long time. He does there, and now Detroit, with both these teams thoroughly spent after 4 tough quarters of basketball, go to a settle-down game. Eric Money controls the ball an awful lot of the time. Sometimes you can move it faster passing the ball.
Well, that's about the 3rd or 4th time he's done that. He has burned Detroit. He has taken some bad shots and forced some stuff up there which he should not have done.
And he wasn't back on defense and tripped Austin Carr. So Eric Money, who played superior early in the game, has given Detroit very little in the late stages. 37 points is the season high for Bob Lanier. He has 17 rebounds also. Clyde Frazier with a chance to tie the game. Bump by Chris Ford.
Ford going nose to Walt Frazier. He knows he's got to cut him off in order to cut off most of the Cleveland offense. So we'll watch this. Watch Chris Ford. He's right on top of him. He got his hand right on the back. There's a foul.
Frazier with a nice shot that gets the roll down, and the Cavaliers have tied the game at 110. Walt Frazier with a good shot off the left hand. Frazier so far has scored 18 points. Eric Money takes a look. Foul call.
Interesting switch on defense here, Don. Jones now is playing Lanier. Elmore Smith is off of him. The obvious strategy of Bill Fitch is to double team him with Jones and with Smith. How do you stop that? No way.
Look at him get back on defense. Here comes Jones to the basket. Lanier was all the way back down the floor to play defense, but Jones got over him. Again, the game is tied at 112. We have 2:40 to go, and we're in overtime. 106 at the end of regulation. Lanier has scored 39 points. Campy Russell leads the Cavaliers with 31. Shumate drills it. And Detroit leads by 2. The intensity is like a playoff game.
Detroit doing everything out here right now, taking jump shots. The last 2 field goals were scored with jump shots. Not their style.
Amazing for shooting percentages. Outside they go to Austin Carr. He can fire from long range. Jones has the ball tipped away by Lanier, but it's picked up by Campy Russell. Unbelievable. Absolutely astounding, the shooting of these two big men. And it's tied at 114 as we're down to 150 left to play. Overtime. We're in overtime. Eric Money takes a look. M.L. Carr is free. I don't know if he was looking for glass, but he got it in down.
What can you say that you don't see on your tube? It's unbelievable the way these kids are shooting out here. After playing last night, getting in late this morning, tell me they don't put it out on national television.
Rebound down to Lanier. And Eric Money wisely bounces the ball letter high and lets the clock wind down. .118 to go as the Pistons with a 2-point lead. They're going to play that clock down. Here's Shoemate going against Elmore Smith. Tries to go to Lanier and they throw it away. Frazier hustles down the court. Cleveland's pushing it up. They want to get that game locked up again. Russell loses the ball to Shoemate. Shoemate blocked the ball away and then picked it up and almost throws it away. Foul on Austin Carr. It's in the backcourt. Eric Money can be tough on Cleveland here.
Shoemate made a great deal. Timed the pass perfectly. A clean block, pushed it away, backcourt foul coming up. Detroit with a chance to go ahead by 4. What a ball game this is, Don. You can see the intensity on their faces. The last series of plays down the court, Lanier actually walked the length of the court. He is spent, absolutely, totally exhausted.
All the more remarkable when you consider these two teams played at Richfield, Ohio last night. Didn't get in here to Detroit till about 3 o'clock this morning, and then they come out and both of them are blasting in upwards of 60% team shooting. Eric Money is feeling the pressure. He misses them both, and the Cleveland Cavaliers quickly summon a timeout.
As much as Eric Money has helped Detroit right now, he has hurt them slightly. He just missed 2 very, very crucial free throws, threw away the ball 2 or 3 times on bad shots. Cleveland now has a chance to tie it.
You know why Zenith developed Color Century? Well, did you ever see my face and it looked too red? And other times it's all washed out? That's why.
Zenith Color Century. Think of it as a TV control room in your set. It controls the color picture, corrects the color picture, automatically, 30 times a second.
And that makes a difference. After all, I don't play for the Cincinnati Paints.
See the difference Color Century makes. Only from Zenith.
Highway light poles can be treacherous, especially if they stop your car dead on impact. That's why Alcoa helped develop this special aluminum light pole system that breaks away on impact. The aluminum pole takes the beating instead of you. Breakaway aluminum poles are out there saving lives right now.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
He definitely got mine.
I agree with Lanier.
With Mendy Rudolph, this is Don Crickey back at Cobo Arena in Detroit. We have 59 seconds to play in overtime. 116 to 114. Detroit and White has the lead, but the Cleveland Cavaliers have the basketball when we resume play. And there has been the man of the game, Bob Lanier, 39 points, 18 rebounds.
He's got my vote as the MVP, win or lose. He's compensated for a lot of Detroit mistakes, kept them in game almost single-handedly. He's got my vote, MVP.
I'm with you. I've got mine also. That's unanimous. We decided that in the timeout. So the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award is going to Bob Lanier. And the $1,000 scholarship we awarded to St. Bonaventure University on behalf of Bob Lanier. Walt Frazier takes a look. Campy Russell was great, but Lanier was beyond great in this game. Jones takes a look. He fights. He looks. He throws it over everybody. M.L. Carr loses the ball to Campy Russell, who banks it in and ties the game. 116-116. 34 seconds left to play in the overtime, and we're again tied. Eric Money drives. He stops. Eric Money shoots and hits it. Lanier was knocked to the floor, setting a pick. Now they throw it down to Jim Jones. He lost the ball with 25 seconds to play. The Detroit Pistons get the basketball back. They have a 2-point lead. But Cleveland still has a shot. Detroit will have to get a shot off within 24 seconds. There's 25 on the clock. So if Detroit doesn't hit it, Cleveland still has a chance to put up a shot and send it into a second overtime. Chris Ford up court with the ball. Over the timeline, a double team. Shoemate back outside as they play perimeter basketball. The game clock is down to 11 to Lanier. Campy Russell against him. No foul. Off to John Shoemate. Rejected, but there's a foul with 1 second left. John Shoemate goes to the free throw line.
And that last pass that Jim Jones missed, thrown from Campy Russell, a total gamble. He tried to get the fast break going. Unfortunately, it was just out of the reach. It could have been had, it could have been made, but it wasn't. And there's the last play, the last foul on John Shoemate. And this will wrap it up.
So 1 second left, and John Shoemate goes to the free throw line. John Shoemate so far in the game has scored 19 points. Lanier, the high man in the game, with 39. Eric Money has scored 22. He had 12 in the first half. Douglas has 7. Skinner has 12. And John Shoemate just put the game on ice. Detroit cannot lose if they just walk off the court when Cleveland inbounds the ball. Shoemate getting set. Campy Russell with a magnificent game for the Cavaliers. He scored 35 points. Jones had 24. Frazier 18. And now Cleveland calls timeout, and that only delays the inevitable. They have 2 chances to win. Slim and none.
I don't know what Fitz expects to pull off in 1 second. He's down by 4 points here. I don't know how he could possibly do anything.
And so with 1 second left to go in the overtime, the Cleveland Cavaliers huddle around for some counsel from their coach, Bill Fitch. It'll be very difficult for Fitch to come up with any play because the Detroit Pistons, I doubt, will even go to their end of the floor.
I'd like to throw some accolades to both clubs, Don. They've done a super basketball. Super basketball. We have said before that they played each other last night in Cleveland, arrived here in Detroit about 2:30 this morning, finally didn't get to the hotel today about 3:30, and really put on a great show for the TV audience as well as the people here in Cobo.
And we'd like to thank all those people, our producer Bill Barnes, director Bob Dunphy, and everybody involved in this telecast as we now have a 120-116 score on the board. Detroit is in the lead. 1 second left to play. It was 106 at the end of regulation. And then on the overtime session, the shooting of Lanier, which was just superior throughout the entire second half. He had 11 points at halftime and scored 28 points in the second half, his season high. Also has close to 20 rebounds, 18 or 19. So Cleveland will inbound the ball, and they will get a free shot. Detroit won't move. Austin Carr gets that free shot. The game is over, and the Detroit Pistons, trailing early in the game by as many as 13, rally back to win their 4th straight game. The final score, Detroit 120, Cleveland 116.